guys, it's us here, Mark Madman, and today we're here with the MADMAN Podcast, our 20th one to be specific. I'm here with Doodle and CMoney.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
We
20th podcast. I'm so excited.
20th podcast, and we hit a big milestone on the channel for us personally.
We're so
thanks
excited.
to everyone. What are we at, Madman?
303 at the time of recording.
Yes.
We crossed the 300 subscriber mark. Woohoo!
We're so happy. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for subscribing. We're so happy.
Cool. It's pretty cool.
That is
Thanks
pretty
for
hype.
listening.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We have a big goal. We're trying to see maybe 350 by the end of the year.
That will be fantastic.
That would be epic.
350
That
would be pretty
epic.
wild. Pretty crazy, some might say.
that
Yes.
would
So
be
spread
dope.
the
That would be
word,
dope.
guys.
So we still got a lot of content we're putting out. We just put up a new Doodles, Never Have I Ever Played, with Dark Pictures Entirely, House of
Oh my
Ashes.
gosh, that was crazy.
Which was crazy.
It's
As you can tell, they
beautiful.
really like narratives from supermassive games.
Yeah, and Supermassive, they're really, really good. It's a really pretty looking game.
It is.
Now, a little rumor has it that Doodle is going to be playing Breath of the Wild next.
Madman.
Maybe
Yes.
getting that out there.
All right,
So
all right.
I'm excited.
We might do that. We have to do another chapter to see if we like the House of Ashes that we
Yes,
just put up.
Madman's been telling me for a while now to try Breath of the Wild.
I think
So
Breath of the
this-
Wild's my favorite game. I can't think of another game that balances its open world, the intrigue in its world, and like its side quests that makes you want to do everything.
I
No
agree.
game, in my opinion, has made me want to explore a world because I like to go from point A to point B. Not even some of the other better games I played have done that. But with Breath of the Wild, it's almost impossible not to explore.
All right,
And that's why
high
it took me so
expectations.
long to
Then
do
those
this.
are big
Definitely.
words you're
It's so
saying
fun.
right there.
Definitely a master class in game design. They changed open world games forever. But it's gonna be cool. So we got that up. We did some unboxings that we put up recently.
Yes, we did. We did a Avengers one actually.
We did the Earth's Mightiest Collector's Edition.
As a
Yes.
Madman short,
For
yes, you
Avengers.
guys did.
Yes, there's a Madman short, super funny by the way, and also you made a nice video.
Oh yeah, an amiibo video.
Yes,
Let's just see how much Crumb really hates onions. You're gonna have to check it out.
it's really funny. I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm so excited about the background picture that you have up today. CMoney.
Oh yeah.
We went with Nintendo.
I put the Mario
I'm
trailer
digging
in the
it.
background.
Yes.
Not the trailer itself, but a picture from the trailer, which is going to be one of the topics later because we did watch it. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming up. We're really excited. If you watch these, we really appreciate it. It's just a labor of love. It's stuff that we just really like to do, and we get to talk to each other and spend some time together. So it's really cool. But if you like them, subscribe to the channel, share it out to your friends, hit that like button. Those are really important because it makes people lets Google know that you guys give a crap.
Yes. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you guys. And Madman, do you have any juicy topics for us?
What if I said
Juice.
yes? What would you guys say?
I would say let's go.
Let's do
All right,
it.
all right. So, the first one on the dock. Warner Brothers Discovery is now being sued by Ohio's Attorney General for misleading investors about its subscriber count prior to the merger, boasting 10 million subscribers. Well, that was completely false. What do you all have to say about that?
How many subscribers do they actually have?
Well, it's not 10 million. Everyone thought that this whole price cut thing that they were doing, cutting out content like that was just peaches, and it's just doing incredibly for them. But obviously that is not the case. There was some little lies to get investors on their side because they got to keep investing money. Their goal is to make money, not to lose money, because they really don't want to lose any more money. They're in massive debt right now. So they keep acting like this is some great thing they're doing. Like this is gonna be a greatest year yet for Warner Brothers. It's not that at all. So yeah, what do you guys
do they
think?
have anything notable coming out to HBO Max anytime soon?
Huh?
Do they have anything notable coming out to HBO Max anytime soon?
I don't even know. Like, I'm sure there's some movies that are in like what do you call it?
Okay, so
Some
nothing
movies
of
down the
note
line
that's-
that are gonna,
that's
Nothing that's going to blow our
that's gonna
minds
make
that we're
anybody
like
excited to
waiting
subscribe
for.
it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
at this point, there's my friend machine.
Yes.
I just love we put on Friends and
Oh, I'm sorry, I said something wrong when I was reading it and stuff like that. It was boasting a 10 million subscriber increase. I mean, it's not just 10 million. That's pretty bad. There's actually like a few hundred million, which that's really good. But you look at Netflix and Disney Plus, and they're doing far better. So it's more than 10 million. It just jumped. They lied about jumping up 10 million.
Okay, but it's not like a few hundred million because Netflix, I think, has like 100 and something million.
Yeah, apparently that's still lying, and investors fell a little lied
cheated.
to.
Yeah,
and that's still,
it's kind of like Bayonetta. This is the whole Bayonetta situation. They only offer me 4,000, but it was a session, right? So they are inflating their numbers and they weren't specific enough.
What they have is that they have stuff that like they have like that one or two, like they have like two big hits. Like there's Lovecraft Country, that's an HBO Max series. House of the Dragon, that's an HBO Max series. Not much else. Like, there's not anything that's like, oh my god, I gotta get HBO Max.
We have to go back. We said we wanted to watch that House of the Dragon after watching that episode, and we haven't done it. We have to go back.
Well, we need to go back and see it before it gets canceled.
Before it gets taken out, right? No, I think for me, I mean, when it comes to like honestly, HBO Max, all that stuff. I mean, I could really care less as long as Friends has a place to be. If they shut down HBO Max, it'll probably just go back to Netflix
somewhere else. Yes,
and I'll be happy with that.
Honestly, it's like the last place for me to go to. Like, aside from when you put it on when we're watching Friends and stuff like that, and it's playing.
I mean, they have movies every once in a while that come out. I just don't know what's coming out to it.
But in my mind, I'm not like, oh my gosh, let me see what HBO has. That's the thing, right? Yeah. So I will like exceed every other app before I get to HBO. So for me, it's not like front and center. Like,
which is crazy because we literally go into HBO almost every night to put on Friends.
But I think that's the thing. I look at nothing. It's literally going in there to put on Friends. I don't necessarily, unless something like literally pops up and it's like, oh shoot, I wanted to see that, or I heard about that and I really, wanted to see it. So let's set it up. I literally, it's just like, okay, put on Friends. It's very narrow sight. Like, it's just blinders on, put on Friends. That's where it's at, and that's it.
Yeah, for me, also, I think that when I hear about Warner Brother and trouble, I'm just thinking, dude, sell your games. You know what I'm saying? Sell your studios. Let's get them out of that whole mix between you and Time Warner. Obviously, Time Warner doesn't give a flying F about the video game, catalog that you guys have.
Industry,
let's get it out. You know what I'm saying? Sell it off. I mean, Microsoft should buy it. I think so.
Ooh.
I think Xbox needs to just pick up some license.
Damn,
like
CMoney.
I don't know if they would actually do that, but that would be something.
That would be a good move, and it'll be a great move for freaking Xbox.
Now, Warner,
Sony owns the video game rights to Spider-Man.
I think so. I mean they own the movie rights. That's a fact. But
well, I mean, they could work it out where Batman can still be made into movies by Warner Brothers and all that stuff, but the video games are made by Microsoft.
That would be cool, but Phil Spencer and people at Xbox Game Studios have said that they're not looking to buy licenses.
Yeah, but that was, what? Things change, my friend.
I mean, that Indiana Jones thing from Bethesda was before.
Evolve. He said it before, but guess what?
Change your mind, bro.
It's time to realize that maybe licensed games are popular.
Exactly.
And I mean, if people have to go to PlayStation to play the next Spider-Man game.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Spider-Man 2 comes out next year, supposedly.
Give them. Yeah, it does, and that's going to be dope.
That's going to be a beautiful game. Yeah, I agree.
Them something. Give the people something that they say, well, I love Batman and I love the Arkham games, but that's going to be now only on Xbox. That's dope. Right? The same way Spider-Man was on Xbox and all this stuff before.
Bring us DC.
Yeah, man. Xbox.
Bring us DC,
Dive
Xbox.
into the world of DC, baby.
Phil Spencer. Let's go.
Maybe Phil Spencer will be the new voice of Batman.
Who? Phil Spencer?
Yeah. The Arkham games, all the big Batman video games have been, Batman was voiced by the legendary Kevin Conroy. Unfortunately, he passed away. We talked about this in a previous podcast. So they're going to have to get a new Batman voice to be Arkham Knight Batman.
Yeah, which is fine. There's plenty of we get a new Batman to play Batman in the movies every time they put out a new one. So I'm sure somebody can talk with a mean.
Unless they make a comedy version and have Will Arnett to be Batman.
I'm Batman.
Hey, Madman, you're missing out. You hearing this?
I'm doing the audition right now.
He's doing the audition right now. I think CMoney's going to be the next Batman for the video games.
Oh boy,
soul.
Can't wait.
But the point is like, come on, get somebody, get a licensed game.
Guys, you don't even understand how epic this would be if like Xbox has like Batman and the DC character, big freaking exclusive, only for Xbox, just like PlayStation has the big exclusive for Spider-Man. That's like leveling the ground.
Yeah, man, let's make it
with
happen,
that.
dude.
That will be freaking. Maybe I'll start liking DC a little, right?
Look, they're making Indiana Jones. Right?
I mean, that's cool.
So let's call it what it is. They're already getting involved in a licensed game. Yeah, did they strike this deal? No. The deal was already done beforehand. But guess what? Now they have absorbed this deal. So if they're ready, if this is a path that they're going down, they're going to be like, well, let's see how this game does, right? Maybe if people love it, right? Well, guess what? They're going to expect us to come out with another Indiana Jones. So
we're gonna have to
license another game,
but,
right?
You know, that's go ahead.
Huh?
CMoney. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Madman.
I mean, Sony's basically the unofficial Marvel house. Not only are they doing Spider-Man, but they're also doing Wolverine in the future. And that we have not seen much other than a very short teaser. And I don't know if it's gonna be open world like Spider-Man, but they're doing something.
Well,
Sony's got these games under their fingers.
Probably not gonna be open world because Wolverine doesn't travel quickly. Right, unless they give him a motorcycle, but I mean,
it starts riding around.
Scooter.
You're Logan, and you rob banks.
A cell phone, and he can call an Uber.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, give me a ride to this place. You'll be doing that shit all day.
No, it'll be Deadpool. That shows how to pick him up.
He's canon.
Open world,
so you know
he's not. He's not a open world kind of guy. We had such cool Wolverine games back in the day. And
there was the X-Men Origins video game.
I'm hopeful
Wolverine Origins
that they do a nice single player, linear, story-based game for him. Do a Logan. You know what I'm saying? Like make the Logan
movie into
video game.
Like a video game or inspired by.
It should be like Wolverine, The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like make it a deep, emotional, strong movie.
We still haven't seen Logan.
A superhero in it. You
That's
know
the wild part. What?
They should ground it and make it like a deep emotional, like Logan, like I just said, right? They should make it like The Last of Us, like a single player, a game that has strong story, emotional, and it just so happens that the character is a superhero who can, pull out these knives from his hand and start kicking ass,
like these claws. I mean, we still haven't watched Logan yet.
We started it like twice, and then
it never happened. I mean, apparently it's like the best X-Men movie.
We'll check it out. But his claws aren't even like you can really make a good story. His claws, he wasn't like born like that. They were put in there, and it was like he went through a lot of stuff. So it could be a really good Last of Us style type of game, or it's super like intense, dramatic, and
they can make it.
I think now like a side note, Logan is not canon to Deadpool 3. I mean, Deadpool 3, that Logan that's going to be in there, he's connected to the previous X-Men, but Logan will have zero to do with it. So he does die supposedly in Logan, but they're not bringing that up at all. It never happened in Deadpool 3 type timeline.
Well, Logan is like its own little story, but
yeah,
like a branch of it. See, also, the cool thing, and I mean, Phil Spencer, don't be too bougie about this. Licensing the games also comes with a lot less like weight. Yes, if the game does well and you want to like make another one, you have to go through that whole process again. But if the game doesn't do as well and you're like, you know what, I don't want to mess with this too much, then it's just a license. It's not something that you fully invested in. So that will be great to freaking try out.
That even if the game's not great, because of the license, the first game will sell.
Yes.
So you'll make your money back on it because people are going to be like, I want to play whatever license this is that I love, right? But if it works out great, then boom, you have a new franchise that you can make. And Disney has showed that they don't give a shit. Like EA has a bunch of Star Wars games that they're making. Like another company's making Star Wars. Like they don't give a shit. If you make a successful Star Wars game, or a licensed game with them,
Yeah.
they're gonna just let you keep making that particular game. Like
Well,
Jedi
they
Fallen
who's
have
Order.
it
doing the
sitting
Knights of the
there,
Republic
right?
remake?
They have it sitting there. Now they'll
Yeah,
have
exactly,
money coming
man.
in.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, I asked a question like, who is doing it?
Aspire was doing it, but I think they took them out, and Sumo Digital, I think, is working on it now.
Sumo.
Yeah, I
Get
think
ready,
Sumo-
guys. The Sackboy: A Big Adventure development team's on this.
Oh, Sumo does a bunch of different types of games in the background. There's a great support studio, but now I guess I think it's them. It might be somebody else. But
Now, CMoney, I know you love Batman. That's
I
like
do.
a big deal to
We're doing
you.
a Doodles Never Have I Ever.
Sure, sounds good to me. But
Taking
where
it back
does
to the original?
where does he rank for you, Madman? I know you love Spider-Man, but where does Batman rank for you?
Batman, I'm not like a Batman fanatic. I mean, I saw like the two Batman and Batman Returns with Tim Burton, but I haven't like seen The Dark Knight ever or any of the Dark Knight movies. And I can't say I'm a fan like that because I haven't even seen all those movies. Which technically I can say the same about Spider-Man because I haven't seen Raimi 2 and 3, which I want to, but I never.
No,
have.
I mean
think
like
she's talking about the
as
character.
So
like
I think
Batman,
that
the
Batman,
character,
he's
yes.
definitely my favorite DC character for sure. Definitely,
Okay.
100%. I find that I don't really care about DC much, but any of his movies, like the ones I've seen, like The Batman and Joker, any of that lineage, I always find them super enjoyable. So I think Batman is a really cool character on his own, and I think I definitely really like Batman. He doesn't beat Spider-Man for me, or maybe, or even
no,
like
of
Deadpool
course
and stuff
not.
like that, or Iron Man. But Batman is definitely.
I
How about
agree.
the moment before Spider-Man got bit by a spider? You think Batman will beat his ass then?
He probably
He
would.
would. Because guess what? Batman need to get bit by a goddamn bat to turn into the Batman. Okay?
He's just
He made his
Batman.
own skill and his own abilities. Right? He's not a punk.
Now we know Batman
Oh,
is
oh.
C-Money's favorite superhero, so I think I'm sensing some
Apparently.
bias.
By far.
All right, I'm
He's actually the only superhero that I would even mention as somebody that I really like.
What about Captain America?
Captain America is dope, but he's not like
It's Captain America.
he's not Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's Captain America. He's just
I think the thing
good.
that for you, yes, because Captain America was also like artificially set up. I think for you, the fact that Batman, it's like a real, not real, obviously, he's a superhero, but like he didn't get bit by a spider. He didn't go through the stuff that Deadpool went through.
He's most humane.
Yes, he's the most closer like to a human as they can get.
He
Like,
is
just-
human.
Yeah.
Any powers he has is gadgets or
Yes,
working out.
Like
he's a billionaire who instead of just living a billionaire life, he chose to get vengeance on the world that fucked him over with his parents.
essentially, Iron Man is kind of like the same way, but he just
He's
created
a cocky.
a suit.
He's a completely
Yeah.
different person. He's mad cocky. He does not care about like trying to conceal an identity and to keep the world at peace. Like obviously he's a hero and stuff like that. But at the end of Iron Man, he just like, I'm Iron Man. And Iron Man 2, they showed he puts on shows and stuff like that as Iron Man flying around from
because
one.
that's his persona.
theatrics.
That's who he is. He's charismatic. He's,
He's
like
not doing it for the greater
for
good.
the greater
though.
good. No, he's
Batman
just
is
messing
the
with
purity of a superhero.
stuff.
Yeah.
Is he?
He
Batman.
literally just goes to get rid of the crime so that he can hopefully stop somebody else's parent from being murdered in the middle of the alleyway at night in front of them and scarring them forever.
Dang,
and they're
that's
not billionaires
why.
and they can't go ahead and spend all their money on getting revenge.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Deadpool. Obviously,
Deadpool's
but
your favorite?
That's a U-turn right there.
Deadpool. That's your favorite of all time?
He's funny. Mommy,
he's funny.
He's comedic,
I just, yeah,
but-
I like my funny. I need that. Like,
Doodle doesn't care
No.
whether he's a superhero or not.
No.
Oh, he's an
No.
anti-hero, if
He's just
anything.
funny.
He is a hero, but he's very selfish, and he's clearly not like a fucking Batman who's willing to put his life on the line.
but that's what I love about him. He's more human than any other one because guess
Bro,
what?
he can't die.
He
He's a god.
listen. He is not a like all this nonsense. I'm a superhero. I'm here for the greater good. He's like most human. He's a little selfish. He's a little bit of a prick. He likes inappropriate jokes. He's as human as they come. So for me, Deadpool,
Except that he literally
100%.
can't get murdered.
He can't
Yes.
die. He can throw himself into a gun bullet frenzy,
how
and he'll
cool
just
would it
live.
be if we could all be like not be able to die. How cool will that be? I mean, obviously minus that burns and all the shit that he's got going on.
Face
But like,
and shit that he has to keep hitting
if we didn't have
of his
to
life.
wear a mask and stuff, but underneath, I like to believe that that's just Ryan Reynolds and they're not
Not the monster.
not the other stuff.
Got it.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that Batman is such a thin line between like what's really a hero and what's not. Everybody believes that they're doing things for the greater good. No?
Well, he
I mean,
only
even
literally attacks
I mean,
bad guys.
the best villains always think that there are villains that are just evil, and then there are some that think that they're just doing what they think is right.
Exactly. So aren't heroes really villains because they're literally doing stuff that affects other people, and
Oh my
other people
God.
think they're doing
Superman burns down a building while trying to destroy Lex Luthor, and it's like, oh
exactly.
shoot,
Yeah,
my bad,
he like
boy.
kills 1,000 other people trying to.
Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2, they kill everyone.
Movie
The
plot,
end.
guys. All right. So, I guess it just, listen, let's
Wait,
move on.
thank God we're on a
James,
DC
this
topic.
Listen, let's move on to the next topic. It is established that Batman is the best hero. Go, man.
Well, thank you for bringing up Batman, because James Gunn has officially confirmed that DC will make video games that are tied to the film canon. Meaning that they'll make games that impact
And
the
It
DCEU.
has begun. My
James
DC
Gunn's filthy hands
my DC
are touching
dreams
everything, and
of
he's
having
not
a new
apologizing.
Well, good. Good. I'm glad. I hope this means that he's going to reach out to Xbox and say, listen, those dirty, dirty heathens over at PlayStation have Marvel locked. I'm going to be my baby tonight and
Whoa!
make DC the home of the Xbox, baby.
Yes. Yes, CMoney. You said it. I'm clapping with the finger
With
snaps,
the finger snaps?
but I can't snap too well.
Yeah. No. No, this is good. This is good. DC needs to step it up. Let's start exposing these characters. Now you set them right. You set them up right on their movies where you have each of the main guys has a good movie behind them now, right? Or to come. Let's start getting into video games that actually take advantage of this. Let's not do Gotham Knights was cool, but that was not like
Meaningful
I mean, I haven't played it yet, but meaning like it's not part of the movie
lineage, so
world.
you're not
You know what
like,
I'm
oh
saying?
God, I just enriched myself in lore. Like you're just playing a fun story that they
making it
create.
where they matter, right? So if the new Batman game comes out, I'm like, oh shit, I need to play that because that story is actually part of the Batman universe.
I get it.
Not just for grins and giggles.
Makes you want to
like a
dip it
certain
and
spider.
do it. You know?
You know what I kind of been thinking? I was telling I told
does it?
CMoney this the other day.
Does it?
I was thinking about superheroes.
Yeah.
And how has Blade not gotten a real game yet? Wouldn't that be fire though?
Blade is like the perfect person for a video game.
But no one
He's a
cares. Like, just
sword
do it.
Slinging beast.
He ain't got shades that are red.
He kills
flying
vampires.
vampires and demons and like it's wild. Like they gotta do it.
Maybe they don't want to show genocide.
Oh, because they're trying to kill all the vampires.
Vampires killing vampires? That doesn't seem very...
I think I had enough with the vampires after, what was that? That
Twilight?
Twilight. There we go. That's it.
Like
Oh my
38
God.
years ago?
Ew.
Yeah.
Boy.
Hey, Twilight was,
Hey,
oh my
Twilight's a
gosh.
shit.
That's
But
the
listen, when you-
cheesiest you could possibly show me or tell me about.
I was watching one of those GQ interviews with Robert Pattinson.
Oh
Yeah?
my God.
Yeah, and he was talking about that and when he got that, how big of a deal it was and how he thought he was like cocky and shit. Like he was like above it and trying to tell them how the performance should go. And
Yeah.
he met with his manager for lunch and they had like a good lunch and he thought everything was good. And at the end of the lunch, the manager was like, listen, whatever you're doing, you need to cut the shit because you're going to get fired by the end of the fucking week if you don't stop.
Really?
Literally. Literally,
hilarious.
that's how it went.
So is he like, was he a fan of the books?
No.
So then why was he so cocky when he got there? Like he
No,
acted like,
because
I should do it like this. Like he was
just
some
thought that
expert.
he was he's one of those people who thought like this is the way it needs to be acted. I feel so strongly about this. This is
Yeah.
the way we have to do it. And yeah, at the end of that lunch, they were like, if you don't cut the shit, you will be
Well,
fired.
he
by
cut the
end."
shit.
Oh yeah.
Dang,
cut the shit
it's like
a
one
lot.
of jeez. Like it's like with Star Wars fans. Like Star Wars fans are a menace, bro. Like they think that they know the timelines and universe is better than Lucasfilm and ish like that. And like, bruh, like
That's such a
Why?
tricky thing because there's like the hardcore fans that want things a certain way, and then obviously like when they're making these movies, all these things have to be a little bit more open to like interpretation. It's kind of like when you read a really good book and then you watch the movie that they have to like squeeze in, and you're like, obviously it's not as good, or look, they changed this character, or this character doesn't look as they described it. And it's kind of like, yeah, but it's like an adaptation of it, right? Like you have to kind of just go with it. And a big one for me was The Notebook. I love that movie. And I first watched the movie and then I read the book. And the book for me, like, I don't even think I finished it. I went far in, but it's like so disconnected for me from where the movie was, because like I really loved the movie.
Sometimes the movies can do like interesting things with it. Like The Great Gatsby is a similar thing. The movie plays out as he's writing a book, but The Great Gatsby, the book is just the book. And they kind of took the idea of it and did something new with it. And
now,
that's kind of where
Leonardo DiCaprio, freaking obviously, he slays any movie that he's in, because this guy is like a ridiculous actor.
He's definitely one of the greatest actors of our
Leonardo
time.
DiCaprio.
For sure.
Freaking The Great Gatsby, to see him
not
bring
win
that
an
to
Oscar
life.
for like ever, and then he just won one?
That's crazy.
Well,
How do
what do you
not...
win an Oscar for?
Dude,
I don't know, but I
for
thought he
him,
won
it shouldn't
something.
even be
The
a
Revenant.
year. It should just...
Wasn't it The Revenant that he won?
Yes, where he freaking like
Slept
got
inside
sick.
of a goddamn horse.
Yeah,
Well,
or
we got
a bear,
disease
bear, bear.
or something for a
But
little while
like,
there.
dude, they should just like ship him one as soon as he's done with a movie. Like, here you go. That's for you.
He's
like,
really, really good.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that are just like, they're ridiculous. But
the thing with the books and the movies and stuff is that it depends on what you saw first.
Yes,
because if you saw the movie first, that's going to implant a certain idea in your head, and then you read it and you're like, this is not what I saw. Same thing with the other red.
Yes.
But, excuse me. But nowadays, it's so funny because one of the big things is like people turn books into movies, and it's like, man, books are so long.
Yes.
You have to condense so much.
Exactly.
But we're in a world now where Netflix can put out high quality movies as a TV series.
Yes.
Like basically 8-episode series that would have been too long as a movie.
Books should now come. Like,
In
imagine
series,
if Harry
yes.
Potter was a series.
That's the thing.
instead
A
of
lot of
movie.
Harry Potter
fantastic.
fans, like I hear a lot of like big fans of Harry Potter, and they always say the book is better because I heard they leave out a lot in the movies that never even get mentioned ever in the movie that were in the book.
I would love.
And I get that.
Yeah.
Because I have tried to read Harry Potter, never really got into it too much. However, I don't know if you guys remember Ready Player One.
Yes.
The book and movie are night and day. Not only do they cut out masses of content, they do weird changes. Like they made they actually kept a character alive that was supposed to die in the book or something like that.
Yeah.
They rearranged the events, completely changed how they got the Easter egg or something like that from the Oasis. It's a whole different book and movie and stuff like that.
I did
It
enjoy
ended completely differently. Even
I enjoyed the movie. Now you read the book,
yeah,
obviously.
they even
and
changed one of the characters. Like the protagonist, they described him as he was actually overweight, but in the movie, he's actually pretty like thin-ish.
See,
a little
that's
chunky,
annoying
but
to
pretty
me.
thin. Like they did weird changes, and I was
That's
like,
the
okay.
thing. Did you enjoy the movie or the book better?
Well, the book for sure. It now definitely the book is wordy, very wordy. Meaning that if you don't like a lot of words, you're gonna probably fall asleep or not care. But as a whole, it's a really good book.
Like a lot of words, and you decide you want to read a book.
The book was a better story, and it was more exciting.
I gotta put some thought into that.
And he took out one of the backstories for I can't remember the name too well. The main character's best friend. It was a while. I can't remember his name. They did a whole backstory of how he was actually a girl, a black girl that posed as a white man to get some sort of respect in the internet and stuff like that. They completely left that whole part out as well.
Okay, well,
And,
this is the
like,
thing. There's
it's
only
all
so
very
much
different.
time in
But
a
that's
movie.
the thing. Yes, I would
So that's
love
why if
for
they
them
make it
to
a
do a Harry
series-
Potter series. Could you imagine? I did enjoy the movies. I love the movies.
The
The
Harry
book,
Potters,
yes.
the original, all 8 were fucking amazing.
You kidding me? To read the freaking book and just like,
Well, I mean, I would never read the book.
no
You couldn't
shot
pay
in
me.
heck. Just like, and this is just the freaking pronunciation of the names and the street names.
Dumbledore.
And yeah, I know.
Papa, Papa.
Voldemort, don't say his name. Right, yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm done. No, I'm done.
There's a problem when Harry Potter's the most normal name in that whole.
Right?
No, like,
See, but I would love to see the movies broken up. Like well, obviously it will come from the books, but I did enjoy the movies a lot, so I would love to see a series on the Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But when I was saying before about the Notebook, how I saw the movie, and then with the book, the same thing happened with me with this with the Dear John. The Dear John book I read first, and I was so into the book.
Did you like read it like a paperback, or did you get like audiobook?
No, paperback. And
Fire.
I freaking loved it from beginning to end. And then they did the movie, and I'm like, what the heck is this crap?
Well, I love the movie.
You loved the movie, but you never read the book. But I read the book, and then I went to see the movie, and I'm like, no, this is garbage.
Now, which one of us is smarter? Right? Because
The guy who read the book.
I love the movie, and I only had
you were able to enjoy
The movie's the
2
dumbed down
hour
version.
and a half, 2 hours of my life, where you spent God knows how long reading a book, and then you.
I couldn't stop reading it.
The
though.
average big
was
book
so
is like
good.
5 hours.
I loved that book. It was one of those that I couldn't put down. Like, I really enjoyed it. So for me, it was worth reading the book. It was just such an annoyance when like they didn't have the same hair color, or this didn't happen that way, and it was kind of frustrating. So
You know in the Hunger Games, the protagonist had white hair in the book, but they made it brown just to make her not look old in the new one. The movies, I mean.
I don't know that because I didn't read the book.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was like a change that they had to make because it just didn't look great or something like that.
Well,
But,
anyways,
yeah.
Hunger Games was also
I'm
amazing.
all yes. Let's make a series.
They're making
about
a new Hunger Games, by the way.
Too. Netflix, get to it.
Yeah.
All right.
They should bring that back.
And
That'd
Harry
be dope.
Potter, they still haven't made the last book into a movie because the first 7 books were made into the 8 movies. But the book 8 was turned into a Broadway show, The Cursed Child.
Okay, because Harry Potter
So it's like, what?
is like 48 years old right now.
I know, he's like, are you kidding me?
He's not going to go back and start playing with magic.
But
They
it's
need
about
to
his
find
kid,
a
I'm
new
pretty
Harry
sure.
Potter to start from the beginning again. Now, how cool was that collector's edition
Call him
with
Henry.
the train, right?
Oh, Henry.
Henry Potter.
Henry Potter.
Henry Potter. Yes, we actually do. Maybe we'll do an unboxing of it.
That would be cool.
We do have the special edition train set for all 8 movies in 4K.
In 4K,
Yeah,
yes.
that's really awesome that they can. Isn't it crazy how they just keep coming out with different
because
ways?
people keep buying it.
People
Yeah.
won't stop buying it. They could give
Because
J.K.
it's
Rowling
awesome.
all the ish in the world,
Agree.
but she's gonna keep getting her paycheck because people won't stop buying the books
I can't
and
wait
movies.
to actually the girls.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, to see them
They'll
again.
be ready to watch it, and we'll
Yep.
watch the whole thing with them.
And Harry Potter, like it gets mixed up in young adult literature, but kids could watch the movies and read the books. Like it's like a lot of kids really love Harry Potter, so it's like that
Reading
all
the
ages
books
could
is
really enjoy.
easier for a little kid than to watch something because it gets pretty dark.
It gets,
Like,
it
pretty
gets
dark.
a bit, yeah.
Like
I mean, the
nightmarish for a
later
little
movies,
kid, you know?
because
Yeah, a
the
little
first,
bit.
the
Yeah, for
first
me,
like
I was like,
the first 3 movies were rated
It's
PG,
kids
and then
are scared.
after, and then it went to PG-13 the last half. So because the first half was not really bad at all, so they just have little swear words, and there was some blood at the end, like quite a bit of it. But you know, I think that's it.
You know, I want to go. I'm looking forward to when we go to. I want to go to Universal. And
Oh my
see
God, there's a
Harry Potter
Wizarding World
over
or
there.
something
Yes.
like that.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, and
Agreed. But first,
we should
all the
watch it for our
movies have
next
to be watched
Halloween.
by everyone.
Yeah. We gotta make sure everybody's in the right frame of mind.
Yeah,
Agreed.
next Halloween we should watch all the Harry Potters
Ooh.
because they could
I'm
the
down.
wizards and
Me too.
warlocks that could all be the people watch them for Halloween.
I'm in,
could.
Madman. You
All
got me.
Everyone's hooked.
We're hyped.
So let's move on to the next topic.
Yes.
CD Projekt Red hath confirmed that The Witcher remake will be 100% open world, akin to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
This is so exciting.
Ooh.
So there's not going to be like, we want to keep it faithful to the original, so we're going to keep it in its essence. Nah, it's going to be
They're just
basically Witcher
taking-
3, but it's the one story.
They're
That's
just gonna take that
fantastic.
story
It's going to be a whole other game, essentially.
and just make it into a new game.
They
I'm so
are
excited for
going with today's technology that held them back, even though it was ahead of its time, and now they're going to really go nuts.
What I mean, first of all, I can't wait for that. I'm also so excited with the idea that once that has happened,
Yes.
I'm almost 100% certain they're going to go back to Witcher 2. which
Most
was
likely.
amazing, and do the same thing. Break
Now, here's the
that
thing.
open.
The
know what I'm
Witcher
saying? Break
1
that open, leave those hubs that they had, and expand it so you can still follow the same linear story, but now you have the world to explore. Oh my God. That game is going to be.
I think Witcher 2. We will have to wait a bit. I'm pretty sure because the first one, it's like, oh my god, the graphics are significantly worse. It's significantly like a whole different game. If you play 2 or 3 or even 2, you're probably not gonna find the same enjoyment in 1. So that one needs a remake. Witcher 2, if you have a really good PC, it will look kind of like Witcher 3. And it's still a good enough experience that it doesn't warrant a remake right away. Probably give it a good gap of time. And I think they will.
What are you talking about?
Like The Witcher 2, like Resident Evil 2, remember that? That was a huge deal. But they released Resident Evil 3 Remake right after, and it was not nearly as good or as impressive. So I think they need a little time before they make a second one.
Oh, to remake the second one?
Yeah.
Well, no, they just need to bring up The Witcher 2 to today's standards.
Well, how old's Witcher 2?
Witcher 2 is like 2009.
It came out at the time of 360, so
No,
we're at least
so I
13
think that,
years removed from there.
I think that's the situation. That's just the second one, right?
Actually, even part 3 came out in 2015.
2011.
Oh, wow. So see, it's been, the thing is that it's been really long. So like just a year, 2 years makes a big difference with technology nowadays. Technology was not moving this fast. But now it's like freaking zooming through.
You figure by the time they're reintroducing Witcher 1, right? The next progression to that is you're going to give people part 1 to play. After they finish part 1, what do they want to do? They're going to jump to 3? No, you have to give them part 2, right? So they'll remake part 2. They'll do the remake.
I think they will, and I think there's going to be a nice amount of money coming in because it's like a known game, and now they're like the people. It's going to be a whole different experience, as you stated. It's going to be open world, right? So this is going to make it feel. It's going to be that old game that was once played and loved, right, and brought into like the modern world.
Yep.
So
absolutely, and CD Projekt Red is getting their name back together. Right, because they really took a big hit when they released Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
because of the old gen version crap. Even though the game itself was amazing on PC, but now they've rectified that and they have the new update coming out for it.
Okay,
so they're already, getting that in line so that people are happy. And then the smartest thing they did is they're like, okay, let's go back to The Witcher where everybody loved us. Boom, they're not remaking, but
right. Let's remind them that they love
remake everything.
They're doing a next gen update for Witcher 3, that's dope, and that's when we're gonna do a Doodles Never Ever for that one. And then they're remaking part 1, which is hardcore for the fans. That people are gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna get to experience that story that I couldn't really experience because of the way the game was or whatever stopped them from playing it. And then, again, you get part 2 remade, and all of a sudden, now you have the whole history of The Witcher out there for new generation of people to play.
Did you play it on the PC? Because I remember you mentioning how gorgeous it was, and for some reason, I remember you referring to the PC version of it.
Yeah, well, back in the day when it happened, but yeah, The Witcher 2 I played on PC back in the day, which was at the time freaking stunning beyond belief. Like it was like next level. And
how about you, Madman? Have you played the Witcher games?
No. I haven't even touched a controller in Witcher at all. Like 1, 2, 3. No. I should. I think it's the first one. I could only play I'd probably just wait for the first one if I was ever to get into
the remake, right?
Because I feel stupid playing 3 and then playing 1. But
I get
now that's coming, why not just wait? But yeah, I'll definitely be sure to give it a shot.
All right. I'm going to try it too. So there you go.
Yeah, but we're going to have you do it, the PC version.
Because that's the best looking version.
Before the remake.
Hey.
Because it's a different game.
For Shizzo. So to feel the evolution of it back to back, that would be kind of cool.
The Witcher 2 is the one that I fell in love with Witcher.
So that's the better game for you, like out of the 3?
Did you ever pay?
Yeah, I prefer the story of Witcher 2 because of that was where I met all the characters that I fell in love with.
Okay.
And then Witcher 3 just kind of expanded it from there, going, much further. But I feel like the Witcher 2, because it was more condensed, more story focused.
Yeah. Storyline.
Yeah, the storyline was more focused because they didn't have a bunch of side content like Witcher 3 has. That I was able to follow that core that core storyline, and I loved it. Like the storyline was so epic.
Do you think it will lose that essence if they make it into an open world with more like options of doing side quests?
For sure. For somebody who's never played it before, it's going to be a little bit harder if they get sucked into side quests because it'll change your constant build of the actual main storyline. So yeah, for sure, it'll change it a little bit. But
yeah, but for those of you that've played it, you have that in there, like you know where you're heading. So The Witcher was books first, right? It's an adaptation.
Yeah, it's a book series at first.
Yeah, it started with books.
Then it got a video game.
Yes.
Then a Netflix series.
Exactly. So see, everything starts somewhere.
Technically, the Netflix series is based on the book. I mean, it doesn't follow the game exactly to a T. It's the book is a source material. But it's still a video game adaptation because the popularization of the video game kind of leads people to connect it to the video game immediately. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've never ever read the book, so I have no idea how far or how close the book is to the games. I'm assuming that the main character, Geralt, is obviously from there.
The book, yeah.
And then, you know, I'm also assuming the other characters are from there, but you know they breathe life into them based off how the game world works.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? You say to me that the Witcher from the Netflix series is not the real Witcher because the real Witcher is the one from the video game. Well, I'm sure that while you're saying that, there's somebody out there shouting the real Witcher is not from the video games. The real Witcher is from the books. So
that's true, but
there's no
that one
Witcher
have
face.
A voice.
It has your internal voice, whatever voice you give it.
But the official voice is the one that came in the games, man.
That's true. And Cyberpunk, same thing. They made that, but it was based on a tabletop RPG.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was Cyberpunk 2020.
That's why.
And that was like its own little board game like thing. Like almost Dungeons and Dragons, but Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like that. And then they made comics and things like that. But then CD Projekt Red got the rights to make a video game out of it.
Well, that's why it's so important that CD Projekt Red also announced that they're going to make their first
real IP that was theirs. Like they didn't buy out the rights. They just did it.
They're making The Witcher, which is their bread and butter. They're making more Cyberpunk, which we need because that shit is amazing. I can't wait. I'm holding off on having you play that until they release the ray tracing update.
Okay.
That's to be the extreme ray tracing or the super extreme, whatever. That's going to play the whole game in ray tracing. It's going to be stunning. Oh my God. Whew. I get chills just thinking about how good that game is.
I'm glad they didn't like just say, okay, we'll make it playable and then we're going to cut our losses, right?
Yeah,
like they're still working on it. That's really good.
Yeah. CD Projekt Red is the shit, bro. They're the shit. You know who reminds me of them? Asobo, and those are the people who make Plague's Tale. I don't think you've ever played these, and I need to do a Doodles Never Have I Ever for them. The new one just came out, Requiem. It was amazing. And the first one was amazing. Man, have you played A Plague's Tale?
No. I mean, I heard the story's really good. I want to check it out.
They're so good. The story is so good. The way they build the game is so good. The action, everything it's top notch. But the reason I say that is because like the first game was beautiful, but it was like a much smaller experience.
Okay.
And it was really, really good. Like super shocking that game was as good as it was. Like it came out of nowhere. The only reason I actually played it was because one of the people that I watch their reviews, ACG, excuse me, he was glowing about it. Like he was praising. I was like, what? Like what the hell game is this? And then I got it and I fell in love with it. And then the second one just came out, Requiem. That's the one on Game Pass. And that was so freaking good. Like it's crazy how good that game is, but it's so much bigger. It's, the world is much more expanded. So in my mind, the way I see them, their evolution is like Witcher 1 to Witcher 2, which was a huge jump, like Plague's Tale 1 to Plague's Tale 2. And now the way I see it is their next Plague's Tale is going to be huge. Going to blow up. They're going to do a bigger world, bigger
and
everything.
And then they'll do the remake of the old ones.
They'll do a remake of the original.
Of course
just need
they
three
will.
games.
Just
so.
3 games. but I feel like they have the ability to do it. Like they also make Flight Simulator for Xbox.
Oh my god.
So they're one of the studios actually that I think Microsoft needs to buy for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I mean they have a 10-year deal with them for Flight Simulator to make that airplane, the simulator airplane.
Yeah,
Remember I showed you?
Yeah,
the
you did.
Graphics are amazing. You can fly anywhere in the world. You can go to this house where we're in right now, right? Like you can literally just fly anywhere. So they made that, but they also make this other game. That's the type of range. Think about it. That's a vehicle, a flying vehicle, detail of the interior cockpits, detail of the world that they're building. Like they have that technical capability, but then on the flip side of it, they make a third-person action adventure game that has amazing story, amazing graphics. Oh my God. They need to do it. They'll be stupid. First of all, they have this deal with them for the 10 years. What do you want them to one day say, all right, we got bought by somebody else.
Yeah.
After this 10 years are up, we're done with Flight Simulator, so go find somebody else to make it.
How popular is that game? Like
Flight Simulator?
Yeah.
Hugely popular. There's a scene for it. Like there's a crowd for it. And I always see it in the top played games on Xbox.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people who play that stuff. But like I feel like that is a studio that's gonna blow up. And if Xbox purchases them after this Activision deal, I think that'll give them what they need to just boom, go ahead and focus and really.
I say let's just forward Phil Spencer a list of what we're expecting him to purchase.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Have a long list.
For sure.
What
For
he
sure.
needs to handle.
For sure.
WB baby.
Let's go, bro.
Licenses. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes. All right. Now speaking of licenses, check this wild topic out. So the new Netflix series Wednesday smashes records with 341.23 million hours viewed in a single week, the most for any Netflix series in 1 week. Now, this shouldn't be a surprise. Netflix has had an incredible 2022 with hit after hit. The Gray Man came out this year. The Adam Project came out this year. Love, Death, and Robots came out this year. Ozark Season 4, Dahmer, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, hit after hit after hit after hit, and Wednesday is continuing that trend and even shattering even more records. 2022 is undoubtedly one of the best years for Netflix, and I think that this continues to show how Netflix is like revolutionizing, innovating, and pushing the medium of streaming forward. So what do you guys have to say about this?
I say I agreed 100%. Netflix, dude.
I want to play like a clapping,
right?
Like a cheering sound
for Netflix, just for them.
For Madman, that was
that was really good.
That was a passionate speech.
Very passionate.
God, I'm crying. I'm fucking crying.
But see, this is why I'm like, Netflix is amazing.
Yeah, they're really doing. I mean, they're pushing. They're doing a lot, and people were like, talking about these other streaming services, but they're the OG, and they're not taking it laying down, dude. They're bringing out bangers, and just like you said, like what's coming out on HBO? You know what I'm saying? Like I can't think of anything that's coming out. Actually, if anything, the only thing I look forward to HBO is any movie they might be bringing that's in theater, and
that's in theater. Yes,
bring it to the streaming service. But other than that, nothing comes to mind. Disney, as great as they are with the shows they make,
I mean, they already caught up to them. Like they're right on their tail. Which, that's impressive.
Disney?
But they're only Disney World.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they're limited.
I know the only show they're gonna come out with is Marvel, Star Wars, or
I agree 100%.
And it's they're Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and what's it called, National Geographic.
Okay.
And The Simpsons.
You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to surprise me with anything. The surprising thing is they make a Star Wars show that's actually good, and
The Mandalorian,
maybe.
Damn it, Madman! Damn it, CMoney! I'm gonna have to say this, and it's just based over on the stuff you guys are saying. Netflix is freaking amazing because they do surprise you every freaking time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They do bring amazing shows. If I'm looking to watch something new, I'm like, you know what? Let's see what's on Netflix. Right? Because they're always making movies. They're making reality shows. They're making regular shows.
Comedy?
Comedy. They're stand-up. Dude, I am so pumped for next week.
On lock.
Listen, next week, who's coming? On Tuesday.
Sebastian.
So hyped.
Yo, that's gonna be
I am
epic.
so excited. They didn't even do that little clip that they do where they show a little bit of the stand-up. They just showed him freaking he's in Las Vegas walking onto the stage, and that was it. And I don't need anything else because guess what? I'm gonna freaking watch it.
Is Sebastian your favorite comedian?
He's up there. He's one of our favorites, I would say. I'll speak for both of us, CMoney. I'm gonna throw you in there
he's
and
really,
say
really
that he's
good,
one of your favorites.
I think
still.
he's super funny. I would say, I think in my opinion, the best comedian, Dave Chappelle. He's hilarious.
Oh, Dave Chappelle is really
The Chappelle
really
Show.
funny.
You could find that on
Dave
Netflix.
Chappelle
It's all there.
He's like a living legend.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
it comes to this stuff, like he just
He's
tells
his
a story.
own. He's his own.
like,
It's like
nobody
Dave
can-
Chappelle, right there.
Some people,
Nobody's at his
some people
level.
think that Robin Williams is better or was better, but I think that Chappelle is the king of it. If you ask
Yeah,
me.
I'm gonna
you
go with
can't really
Chappelle.
Go back and compare people who are like they're not in the same realm of what they're doing. Like,
they're very
Robin
different.
Williams was never he's not going to talk about serious topics and make them funny. You know what I'm saying? Like Dave Chappelle is the only person who can literally talk about whatever he wants to talk about. And
oh my gosh,
however
yes.
serious it is.
It doesn't matter how serious it
crazy
is.
it
I
is.
agree 100%. He gets his point across and he does it in a
lightweight, and even if it's not
and even
light,
if it wasn't,
he'll do something light at the end to just make it all okay.
to make you laugh.
Yeah,
I agree.
He could talk about the darkest thing in the world. He could talk about dark matter, and he could somehow make it fucking light. Like fucking hilarious.
He's really, honestly,
I agree.
I would consider him like a living legend.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he passes, is going to be like a
Blow.
huge thing that Dave Chappelle's not here anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Because he changed comedy, dude. Like he had that show. He had the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Like, and then to be able to walk away from that money and say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
And,
like
then,
people-
and then I think just as a self, like almost like a made man type of way, you have Kevin Hart.
yes.
Where Kevin Hart was more of a hustler to be a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Dave Chappelle didn't do that, right? Dave Chappelle is just Dave Chappelle.
He's Dave Chappelle.
Like he did stand-ups that were amazing. He did the show that was amazing. He all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
right?
like
Kevin
just
Hart, you could tell that
amazing.
he was just like grinding to try to be somebody.
trying to do
Like
it.
he
Yeah.
wanted to be somebody, and he was good at it, so he became somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the hustle, like I need to do this.
Yeah,
I got to
like the
figure it
hustle
out.
being
Yeah.
involved. The hustle putting out a new Netflix every time or a new stand-up all the time.
Yeah.
You know, a new movie or show. Like he hustled to get into our minds the way he is, right? So he's a hustler, and that's how he got there. Like I wouldn't look at him like I look at Dave Chappelle.
No. Dave Chappelle, it's definitely just like you said, like you stated. He's just the legend, the freaking, for me.
It's like when you think of Phil Spencer when it comes to games. You probably think Dave Chappelle when they talk about comedy or something.
Yeah. But I get.
And you can't cancel the man. People try to cancel him after the closer.
Well, they try to
you
get
can't,
his.
You can't do it.
They try to get his freaking stand up off of Netflix, and they were like, I
No.
don't think so.
You
Well,
can't.
no, because you know
can't do
what?
it.
He doesn't do anything wrong. When he talks about these things,
It's facts.
he's just telling you his opinion or what he
Yeah.
feels about something. But he's not belittling anybody. He's not hurting anybody. You might not like to hear what he has to say, but sometimes the truth hurts.
I mean, a lot of time it's true.
But see, a lot of his comedy starts in like it's not where it starts. You have to listen to it all.
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
admitted that
Right.
he's
It's
went a
like
bit
he's
far in the
his
past,
point-
but
Like
I
Dave
mean,
Chappelle is not a
it's not
freaking
wrong.
idiot that made it by making jokes. Like he's a very smart dude. So it's not like, oh, this is all I can do. I can make people laugh or I can make some jokes here and there. This is what I'm gonna do. Like he's a smart dude. So his comedy is also smart. But I'm excited to see Sebastian though. He's funny as can
Sebastian.
be, dude.
Yeah,
It's
he'll be-
crazy. I'm so
But like,
excited.
even like, what's his name that we really liked the first one? D-Ray?
D-Ray
No, not
Davis.
No.
Dion.
Dion,
Dion
yes.
Cole?
right? The guy who was in Blackish.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that first stand-up that he did
Was really good.
was
Yes,
epic.
on
was
Netflix.
so funny. And then he did a new one,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we like fell asleep during it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's like the difference, right? You know, like there's people like Dave Chappelle where you're gonna put that on, and no
And
matter
you're gonna watch the whole
you're gonna
thing.
watch the
Yeah.
whole thing, and it's gonna be engrossing. Whereas some of these other guys, they're good, but sometimes they're just one time they're really good, or maybe a few times, but other times they're not. You know,
It's a hit or miss.
yeah.
You know
there's a
who
lot of
else
people.
is gonna have a Netflix special coming up?
Oh.
I think the first name is John Pappas.
Oh
John
yes,
Papa.
we liked him.
We liked
Tom
him.
Papa,
Yes.
right?
Tom. Yes.
Tom
Thank
Papas.
you, Madman.
Hey, no problem. It's Papa.
Papa. Oh, okay.
Tom Pappas.
Tom Papa.
Well, I messed up that name.
Tom Papa.
Yeah.
Papa Jonesy. Papa Zoltzy.
But,
All right, but-
yeah, he's also gonna
Yeah.
have one, and he's really funny. So there's a
I'm
There's a
looking
good
forward
amount.
to that. I love stand up.
Netflix needs to get its flowers, and I feel like people are so ready to like toss away the place that started it all. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Like, without them, none of this would be going on.
And
'cause
I
nobody
love
did
that they're
investment.
still doing more. They're still growing. Like they're not like, okay, we have some subscribers. Here's one thing a month, two things. You get everything
Dude,
from
every show
anywhere.
from everywhere is on there.
It's crazy.
They're like, and they were small, dude. They were just like sending you videos over in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Like they were nobody. Like there's huge movie entertainment like places that could have done this, that could have invested in streaming, that could have done all this shit. And it's only now that people are getting into it. When Netflix has been doing this forever. And then now that everybody wants to be in it, now all of a sudden Netflix is dying because these other people are coming. Like, the fuck out of here. They're the ones who started. They're the ones who thought about doing this.
Seriously.
And now you're going to act like they're behind the times. They don't know what's going on. Come on, man. They come out with new shit all the time. And they're
Like,
the only ones who are constantly in the headlines. How many times do we do this show every single week? And how many times do we have something to say about Netflix?
Like-
not in a negative way.
Yeah.
HBO Max.
I'm choking on Netflix's greatness. God. But yeah, I don't know.
Don't choke, Madman.
Oh my God. We were talking about Wednesday. I forgot we were talking about that show.
Oh, well, let's,
Oh
you
my
know
gosh.
what? Let's bring this
Yes.
back real quick because Wednesday we were talking about, which was amazing. And we just did a her, him, and a mic on Wednesday.
We did.
We did.
Yes.
Because that show was phenomenal.
It really
Unexpectedly
was.
phenomenal.
That's
I
when
agree.
Tim Burton meets Netflix. You get Wednesday. It takes the characters you already knew, like the Addams Family. I'm sure that even if you haven't watched it much, you've probably heard of them from way back when to like the newer movies and stuff like that. And Wednesday kind of came out of nowhere. I heard of it a little, but I just saw a Netflix preview. We all did, and I think that we just did not expect to be intrigued or engrossed at all, and it kind of blew us away in a way. So,
Now,
you know.
Madman, when we were speaking, you told me, because I remember Wednesday, the actress that plays her, she's
Wednesday
from
Addams?
Stuck in the Middle, but you mentioned something else that we saw her in.
Jenna Ortega, she was in, she did X, and she was in the latest Scream movie, Scream 2022. Scream, remember?
X?
Yes,
Scream?
she played the sister in the
She was a
Scream
little
movie.
sister. And then, she starred in this movie called X, which is also a horror movie, but it's just literally just called X.
That's the movie that she was making when she
Got the phone call
got
from
the
Tim
phone
Burton.
call for Tim Burton, and she had all the makeup still on.
Really?
And that's how she did the Zoom call with Tim Burton, and he laughed.
That's cool.
Oh my God, yeah, that's something. I mean,
She's
I feel like that
actually
these
really
Disney
good.
Channel actresses,
she
like you kind of think that when they're Disney Channel, you're like, oh, she's a Disney Channel girl. But bro, I didn't even notice her get popular. Like,
Right?
it's not like
That's
Olivia
the best
Rodrigo.
way, right? When you don't even notice it, and you're like, oh shoot, look how amazing they are. And oh my gosh, yeah, that was the girl from here and from there. Like she's 20 years old. She's a phenomenal actress. And
Yeah.
dude, she brought this character because I never liked the Addams family thing. It was like, oh my gosh. So when you put on the preview and I'm like, okay, the show looks good, but I don't really like
The Addams
this
family.
type of stuff. And then, dude, she changed the game for me. Like we went to watch the one episode and we watched the whole thing right away, back to back. And that's a lot of times that's what happens with these Netflix shows.
8
You're like, all right, well,
episodes.
we'll try it out. And then before you know
That
it, you're like,
became our
I
day
don't want it
and night.
freaking stop. Literally.
We started watching in the middle of the afternoon, so it's not like it was early. It was in the middle of the afternoon. We were like, man, what's on? Let's see. We saw the preview there. We were like, you know what? I want to see this preview. Let's see it. We saw the preview. I was like, yo, let's watch it. You're like, it's
Halloween-ish. I don't think
Halloween-ish. I
so.
was
It's
like,
We
listen,
gotta
Christmas
watch like
time.
Christmas.
like, let's just watch one. Worst case, we
We'll
stop it.
rip
and we're
our
done.
eyes out.
I even gave you guys the argument that, like kind of like after Christmas, like Christmas Day, it's like you don't really want to watch anything else that's for Christmas. It's kind of like done. So I was really trying to persuade.
Not watch it.
Yes, because I was like, this is the time to watch like Christmas stuff.
Meanwhile,
This-
you watch 1883 and you're like, oh, that's a jolly day
That's-
show.
So, Madman, we did talk, and we kind of were on her, him, and a mic, and we did talk about more of like how the show was and everything else, and the things that stood out for us. So, how about yourself? What did you enjoyed it? Obviously, you were there watching it with us, and no one objected to the next episode. If anything, we were like playing the quiet game.
Oh,
and
I
like,
seriously enjoyed it. Wednesday was another situation where I did not expect. Because I never really, to be fair, I never seen Addams Family, but I never had a urge to watch it. It's one of those things how you probably grew up on it and I the Addams Family. It's like Muppets. But, like, it's something that I did not expect to be as interested in. I saw the preview and I was like, oh, shoot, I want to watch that. But, I don't know, Netflix has a way to get their little fingers on anything and make it good.
Okay, so
I never seen
karate it though. Like, what about it stood out to you?
I like the world design, the
particular?
intriguing characters, how they made Wednesday such an endearing protagonist, as she was always kind of like one of the kids and stuff like that. But they really made her story in a way that they showed you who she was right in the beginning, the first opening scene.
Yeah,
and they gave you show you what to expect in her demeanor and how she reacts to stuff and how involved she is and how she almost pretends not to care, but you see her as she develops throughout the series and how she handles different situations and the people she interacts with. It kind of makes it much more engrossing than if they focused on any of the other Addams Family characters. And that made it a really good series that I think was super enjoyable from beginning to end.
Yeah, I agree with that. I did feel like for somebody who's supposed to be so cold and ruthless and everything, like she was always there when she had one of those visions to like kind of just go ahead and help out and save the day. She did.
Character arc was really
so
really
well played. Great freaking show. And I wonder if they're gonna make. I think they will. I think maybe. Because it did so well and the way that it ended, that they will bring us
they
more.
Definitely will. That people. She already said at the end, or is she gonna come back for next semester because the semester ended early? Right
now,
so the semester ended early. So are they gonna come back? And she was like, "We'll see." Of course, they just told us they would when they said it's a smashing success. They're not gonna be like, "Yo, that did so good. Let's never make another one."
Right?
Now, Netflix is infamous for canceling series that don't have complete arcs, like The Crew or Cowboy Bebop remake, that they basically kind of started, but because it didn't meet expectations, they gave it the axe. But this, obviously, Wednesday has been doing really well, really strongly, and that's the first week. Like, it takes months sometimes for shows to slow down if they're really popular, like Stranger Things or Squid Game.
Yeah, they're gonna make another one.
I think that season 2 is practically guaranteed.
All right, now real quick, man. From the whole show, one moment that really stood out to you, that made an impact on you.
I still find the first opening scene fire where she throws the piranhas into the pool. It's unexpected, but that shows you exactly who she is as a character in one scene. And I think that was maybe the most memorable, probably.
I mean, the problem is for me, that scene, I look at it actually completely opposite. That scene for me is a red herring. Like, it's put in there to make you think you know this character. But in reality, that's not the show at all. Like, that's just her fake exterior that she puts up, like her wall to protect herself. But throughout the entire thing, like, that was almost murder. And then she spends the whole show
protecting people,
trying not to have people murdered. And like,
I agree.
Trying to lock up her parents for possibly murdering somebody. Like, she's like super anti-murder.
Yes, and
but
the
first
funny
moment,
thing
she's trying to murder
is like
this
she doesn't want to tell anybody what went down because she like failed to like kill the dude, right?
Yeah.
And
like I got embarrassed because I didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like the opposite. Like that first thing was setting you up to think you were gonna get one thing, but in reality they flipped the script on you and
they went really in who she is. How about for you?
They do have dark references. Even in the way she speaks, she talks so lightly of like the serial killers. How they compare it to like her wall to like Ted Bundy's wall of like victims, stuff like that. She even mentioned in a piece of dialogue that this is like terrible, but not the good terrible like Ivan. That was a reference to Ivan the Terrible, which was a nickname to Hitler's worst Nazi who killed the most people and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
So they threw in some dark humor and stuff like that. But basically, what Wednesday is that they try to make her dark and stuff like that. But she truly cares for the people that she truly cares about. and she's like, they kind of set her up as someone who doesn't really care. Obviously, in the beginning, it was because they were torturing her brother, and she said, "No one tortures her brother except me. You fucking die," and stuff like that. And she got an arrow for one of her friends, stuff like that, and almost died trying to save one. So she clearly cares. She just,
How about you, CMoney? What is the most impactful thing that you saw on the show?
So there's actually a lot of different things that happen.
One thing that's like a big deal.
Saying that there's a lot of different ones that I can kind of point at and choose, like that I feel made a big defining moment for me. But I think the moment when she got caught by the when she went back in and the principal was up at the top of the stairs and she walked in and she was getting herself from being expelled.
Yes.
Remember why you shouldn't expel me and all this stuff?
Yes.
And she wanted to make sure that her friends didn't get expelled.
Yes. That was a big moment.
Oh, that showed character.
Yeah, because but the whole time we said how she uses people for her own agenda. Like
she's manipulating people and using them. And this was almost like
selfless.
Yeah, like she wanted to make sure that they also did not get in trouble.
Yeah.
And it did show like
there are people who are just very manipulative to get what they want, because human desire is big. Like humanity is built off of desire and what they want. Yeah. And she uses people, even if it's not meant in a cruel way. It's her natural instinct to almost use people to do the stuff she wants. Doesn't necessarily mean she doesn't like them or care if they die or not. But, she clearly showed that she does really care about these people and stuff like that. Even if she has a funny way of showing it. So, I think when it comes down to it,
what about
she's
you,
a very
Doodle?
good person.
What moment?
Well, for me, I have to go with Wolfie when she wolfed out.
Oh,
I love that scene. That freaking when she fought the monster and that freaking last hit when she did that double kick.
Yep.
And just fell back. And then I thought she was hurt, but then she comes out in the end, like back to normal.
Yep.
She has so much pressure from her mother to get to where she needed to go. And like she wanted to send her to wolf camp because she was like a late bloomer, right? And it was becoming to like questioning if she will ever get there, right?
Yep.
So it just hits on the fact that everybody's different. Not everyone has the same path, right? Not everybody has to develop in the same speed. And I love that. And she got to where she needed to go at her own time, in her own terms, right? Like she didn't
it was mostly because of Wednesday.
Yes.
It was when she needed to protect her pack.
Yes.
Right? Like she considers Wednesday like a really good friend, like almost like family.
Exactly.
So when she was in need, that's what pulled it out, right? She was never in a scenario that she needed to do it, but when she needed to do it, it came out of her and she wolfed out and beat the shit out of that dude.
That was freaking epic for me. It was so cool because as you continue to watch the show, you become attached to these characters, right? So she was really somebody that I felt like she was a good friend to Wednesday. She was very open and accepting. And she was so bubbly. She loved colors and plushies. And it was so cool. And then she's obviously a wolf, right? And this hasn't happened for her. And she kind of feels a little bit like left out. They go and they wolf out, remember?
Yep.
And then she gets left behind type of thing. And I wanted to see that moment happen. And that shit happened epically. Like, how do you become the ultimate wolf while getting into a fight with the freaking monster that's dominating the freaking show?
Yep.
Like, that was so cool.
Yeah,
for me, that was epic.
So I'm going to piggybacking off of that. I'm going to go two more quick ones that I really enjoyed watching. One was because you brought up the wolfing out. I remember when she went on the balcony and said she couldn't wolf out. When they showed Wednesday doing her fucking
oh my gosh, when she was playing
bass violin, whatever it is.
Cello. It's a cello.
The cello. Oh my gosh.
Shit, did she kill it?
That was
amazing. She really plays the
amazing.
cello because she murdered that.
Well, she definitely acted like she can play the cello.
She did.
So
That was really good.
if it wasn't her playing it, amazing performance, because,
Yeah,
that's
she
how
did.
anybody who's really playing the cello should look like while they're ripping it at the cello.
Yo, killed it. So that was a super dope moment in the show.
Agreed.
And then the other moment was when she had Tyler tied up in the shed.
Oh, and she was about to fucking
And she was
use a
about to
hammer on
fucking
him.
Hammer his ass out. she's like, no, we're gonna make him turn.
Taser his ass.
Getting the hammer ready to fucking snap his shit. Oh my god.
Jeez, I love it. And probably the funny thing is that if the cops didn't come, the story would have probably been over because he wouldn't have been able to go nuts. She probably would have broke all his fucking bones.
No, I think she would have turned his ass. He was gonna get defensive and freaking fight back eventually. Yeah. So that was crazy though. She was like, we're gonna get this motherfucker to turn and we're gonna do it now. My visions are right, and you're the freaking monster.
But dude, that also showed how fast like she can flip.
Yes.
Because she just kissed this dude, right? Like
Right?
she obviously felt really good about him and all this shit. And then she found out he was the monster. And then instead of her being like, well, he did save me.
He didn't kill me.
He didn't kill me. Like he didn't
Let's
hurt
have a
me.
conversation.
He just hurt
No.
other people.
She was like, you know
Let me
what?
see
We're
if I
gonna
could be
tie
cool with
him up
Oh,
and we're
she was
gonna
like, we're gonna get it
torture
out.
his ass.
He's a monster.
He's a
He needs to be taken
demon.
down.
Mind you, she framed Xavier for it in the first freaking round. And she was like, no, he's the monster. Lock his ass up. They have this guy with like chains on his neck and both his
Jesus.
arms.
Shackles.
And it's like, what the heck happened? No, but this is the thing. And this is the one thing about the show. Like, she is very focused on what's right and wrong. And like, she wanted to find out who did this stuff. And like, she didn't care because there were scenes where she tricked the friend and she said, we're going on, let's have a girls' night. And she was actually going to the house to investigate, right? And she also told, what's his name? Tyler, we're going on a date, right? But it was all to trick them to have them come with her to that house and go look through and see what was really there. So to her, finding that out came above anything. So like when she found out that he was the monster in that vision, she was like, dude, I don't give a crap about anything else. You're the freaking monster. I figure you out. Like, she wants to be like a detective. And the thing is, we mentioned that she's good at like everything she does, but detective work is not like, she does figure it out, but like she got Xavier put in jail for it. Like, it's not her forte. So she finally got there, and it's like, okay.
Well, she just literally goes by the clues that she has. Like, her instinct is not there. She goes by the clues, so she's really good with the clues.
Bro, she would literally, oh my god. If she was the villain, she would have destroyed the whole school. Like, she would have been unmatched as a villain.
Oh, yeah, because she's freaking crazy.
Yeah. That being said, if you want to have a deeper dive into Wednesday, even though we did a pretty deep dive right now, check out the video that we put up.
Him and a Mike podcast. Wednesday discussion.
Wednesday. It's really good. The show is amazing. Check it out. We go deeper in there.
Yes.
All right. Man. Next up on the docket, Assassin's Creed Mirage is reportedly aiming for an August 2023 release window per certain sources, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed game.
The next mainline one
that they're aiming for August 2023. Which, you know, it's been a long time since Valhalla came out.
That's what I feel like. It's been like a while.
Been a year or
now,
two,
have they shown anything, any pictures, any video, any clues as to where this is going to take place? Because I didn't like the last one, by the way.
Well, you didn't get
in my opinion. I saw the snow parts and everything else, and I just couldn't get to it. Like, I was like,
Now, the good thing about Mirage is that it's stepping away from the recent open world, no stealth, but you're just exploring this vast world and getting towards. Nah, it's going to be more similar to 1 and 2, how it's set to feature a smaller and denser open world, a focus on stealth, parkour, and assassinations, and will help to fill in some vital parts of the wider Assassin's Creed timeline. So if you're a fan of classic Assassin's Creed, you're going to like this a lot.
Okay, good. I'm glad they're bringing it back. I felt like it was really, I didn't like the whole Viking style
Well, I
for
mean, listen,
Assassin's
they-
Creed, in
they-
my opinion.
They're doing different things, right? So like there's a lot of people who love the Vikings, and then there's a lot of people who didn't, right? So like they did the Egyptian one, which was
Origins.
fire.
Yes.
They did the Greek one, Odyssey, which was fire. The big problem they have is that they just kept getting bigger and bigger. So like Origins was big, but like decent size where you could still kind of finish it, right?
Yes.
Which we did. Odyssey was way bigger than Origins. Now I still finished that one because it was still able to be done. It was just took a long time. It was like 100 hours or something.
Which
crazy.
one was the one that I was like obsessed with?
Origins.
Origins.
That's the one with Bayek and his wife.
Oh my
That
gosh.
story was amazing.
That was so good. Like, what happened? You had left it on, right? And you said bring it to like a saving point or something like that. And
Mhm.
dude,
You got hooked.
I was like, can I do some side missions? And it just never stopped from there. And then I started my own game, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
insane.
It was really, really good. But this whole new arc of Assassin's Creed is really good. Like people are throwing around, oh, it's not Assassin's Creed anymore. Listen, we were getting tired. The people who lived through the original Assassin's Creeds
Yeah.
were getting tired of Assassin's Creed. We were getting tired of the same formula. Hide here, go through this linear
Same
story,
climb.
go through this little road. You know, like it was so linear in comparison that it was getting boring, dude. Like all the people who lived through it were
Yeah.
tired. So they did the right thing by expanding it, going into Egypt with Origins, making it an open world.
Love that.
Going into Odyssey, which people love that story. I love the story; it was very good. But people love that story. This one was more. The problem with this one was it was like a gluttony of shit. Like there was too much. Like they just kept putting more and more and more and more into it, and they didn't want it to end. So they wanted to make an Assassin's Creed game that they can keep adding onto it for years, which they did. And there's some people who live that life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they want to be in that world and they're going to stay in there for as long as you let them. But I think the majority of people want to transition away from a game. You know what I'm saying? And Assassin's
in a way that
Creed-
it feels like complete, right?
like you
Because that's
finished
the
it.
problem. Like you don't want to start something and then just kind of just stop. You want to feel like it ends somewhere without being dragged through everything. Like you either fail and didn't do it, or like you sit there and you play like beyond belief without wanting to continue.
See, what they should have done with Valhalla is made a more contained story that you can get done in like 30 or 40 hours, right? And then do these expansions that keep it going. So if you choose to continue, then it's there. The problem is, like, I didn't even get to finish the main game before other expansions were coming into the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like,
Give
now
me a
I have
minute.
these other side shits to do. And like, wait, where is even the main story anymore? I don't even know.
Like it's just so big. It's
Like, it's
ballooning
huge.
a little too much.
But that doesn't take away from the game itself. The game is phenomenal as far as the gameplay, how the battles work, all that stuff is really a great game. I really, truly do enjoy it. It's just like there's no fucking end to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, come on, man. Like, it's too far. Like, I'll hop in right now, be happy as shit, play for an hour. I'll
Yeah.
be happy. But, like, I know that I literally did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I did some story, I don't even know which story I did. Did I do the expansion story?
Yeah, you like it
Did I
more
do the main
extreme.
story?
Like, jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, too much of whether it's a good thing or a bad thing is too much.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a perfect example of too much of something.
Yep. So I'm glad they're repeating the cycle, right? So now that we have too much, now they're saying, look at us, we're listening. We're gonna go back to the smaller times. And guess
Yeah.
what? They'll give us a few
Now-
of those.
Yes,
then
I
people
was
will get
gonna
tired,
say,
and then they'll do a big one again.
Now it'll be appreciated, right? Because it's like, okay, we're back to what we wanted that we were starting to take for granted, but we're happy now to receive it. Thank you very much.
Exactly. I mean, they have a lot of Assassin's Creed games coming out.
Like a lot.
Yeah, over the next, like, from now to 2026, I think they have it all kind of scheduled
Oh
out.
my God.
So, I mean, listen, Assassin's Creed is a phenomenal IP. Like, Assassin's Creed is dope. We'll see what they do with it, whether they milk it too far, you know, which was the problem before they switched to these bigger games because they were milking it. Even though there were some bangers, like Assassin's Creed Black Flag was a huge banger. Part
Brotherhood.
2 and Brotherhood and that whole almost trilogy of Part 2. That was amazing.
Assassin's
Oh, yeah,
Creed
the
got to
Ezio
the
trilogy.
point where it was coming out more of like it was more frequent, right? It was almost
Every year. There
yearly,
was a new one,
kind of like
Yeah, it
Call of
was.
Duty
It really
style.
was. Until Origins basically slowed down the process because they were getting bigger and bolder. And now people don't like that. So now they're going back to normal. And then
Yeah.
so we're going to get sick of it again. And then it'll never end. No
It's
one
a
will be
cycle, but
satisfied.
That's life anyway.
But that's what keeps
games.
people
That's what keeps things going.
with the game, right? You give them a little shake up to remind them of what they like about the game that they originally created, right?
Now that's a game that they should be remaking. The original Assassin's Creed from back in
They
the
could.
day. Give us a full remake.
Yeah.
Ooh. That would be a banger.
That wouldn't be too shabby,
That would be a banger.
right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. This is Mirage is going to be the 13th mainline installment. We've already had quite a few. And also, every Assassin's Creed, not including the Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy and stuff like that, every Assassin's Creed mainline one has a different protagonist. So,
Yeah.
like, there
Yeah,
are
nobody
contained stories.
Nobody could claim that they were not original. Like they made new stories, new characters every time. They were trying to keep that through line with Desmond, the guy who was in the present, not in the past, right?
Mhm.
So they were trying to keep that through line, but then they kind of dropped that over time because people didn't like going back and forth or whatever. But listen, they made Assassin's Creed into a powerhouse IP. And
They
it still
did. And when
is.
they first started, it was a lot more like slick, where you had to like high through a little more smoother and like to sneak into places.
And there's
stuff
like the jump off the building and land in the hay bales.
Yeah, like it was a little more structure, and then it became a little more free with that open world
Yeah,
and
more
the side
action and
quests
things
and
like that.
everything like that. So, I mean,
Well,
you
people-
can't knock it. It did grow a lot from like where it started.
People nowadays
People
don't
always
really
want
do
more,
that though anymore. Yeah, they do. People don't really play like they
And then
don't
they
like the stealth games.
wait, and then they complain that it's lost its authenticity and
Well,
its
that's
way
because
of
those are two
being.
different
Like
people talking, right? We hear it as one, but it's really two
yeah,
different people talking. It's-
complaining about
it's the
different
people
things.
who
Yeah,
wanted to expand, right? And then the people who didn't want it to expand, the people who liked that type of game and were pissy that they changed. But they have to evolve with the times. And look, Splinter Cell's not around like that anymore.
no,
That's a sneaking game, right? I love Splinter Cell.
you
Splinter Cell
did.
was a banger. But they stopped, right? Because they had to start making Splinter Cell more actiony. But
yeah,
then the
and then
purists
that's
who
when
love
the other
Splinter
Tom
Cell
Clancy games came in.
was like,
The
what happened?
What,
the
what
last
happened?
the last Splinter Cell was 2013 with Blacklist, and
That's
then that was
crazy.
it.
That's so long ago. I remember
Yeah.
how much you love these games.
Yeah, Splinter Cell is awesome, but it's like, you know why? It's because these young kids, they can't hide in the shadows.
Yeah, they
They're like, I gotta get out the shadows, and then boom, they're
give
dead.
me something to do.
It's like, dude, calm down, bro.
Guys, I'm scared.
It's like they
Oh, that's
that's the problem.
hilarious.
So they're trying to
I get that.
keep up with the young kids who are impatient, right? They don't
Yeah.
want to hide. They don't want to wait. They want to go and do action, right? So they did what they could to try to make these stealth games more actiony. But
But then
purists,
they become an action game.
yeah,
like
then the
there's
purists
a
are bitching that it's not a stealth game
there's
anymore. It's like,
there
come on,
are
man, you don't buy
different
the game.
games that are action games, and this is just a smooth, sneaky, take
Yeah,
your
it's
time,
like what am I thinking?
figure it out type of way.
Conviction
It's like
was
Dead Space.
awesome.
Dead Space 1 and 2 are considered some of the greatest horror games of all time. And then with then to finish off the trilogy, they made Dead Space 3, which was very action heavy rather than, and it moved away from the horror. No one liked that game. Like, it wasn't very popular and well received at all. So that sometimes trying to appeal to a broader audience could end overall like ruining the game.
Well, it only ruins it for the people who don't like it. The thing is that back then, this is all of these scenarios we're talking about are from a while ago, right? Last generation issues, right? Because last
Yeah.
generation was popping. All these new IPs came into the world and they were awesome. But the generation lasted so long that within that generation, they're coming out with 2-3 games, right? And people are like, all right, well, we've already played this game. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, you already gave me this game, right? So it's like you can't keep making new IPs always, right? You have to make a good one and then hope to expand and turn it into a franchise. Well, like now the world is different. Like now the subgenres can exist more. There's a lot more gamers out there now. So there is a subset of players who want a real stealth game. And if you just make a stealth action game, like there'll be an audience for it now.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like, that was the new thing, but like, what have you done for me lately? You know what I'm saying? And that's now you have more people who would just be like, okay, I want a pure stealth game.
Now, when was the last Rainbow Six release?
Well, they keep making those. It's Extraction was the most recent.
So they hit it big with Rainbow Six Siege, which was a multiplayer game.
Okay.
So it's a round-based multiplayer game.
See, that changed a lot.
Well, they stopped making the story games.
Yeah, I felt like it was more stealth. It was more sneaky, and then it started to become a little bit more actiony. And now, like you said, it became a multiplayer game.
Yeah, so it's not a run and gun game. It's still very much like Rainbow Six is still very much Rainbow Six. Like you'll get shot and you're dead. So it is a more slower paced game. Now the people with a lot of skill, they can move faster in the game because they're just good. But it's still a slower paced game, but it's multiplayer only, and they got so popular that that's all they're made.
Yeah.
They just did Rainbow Six Extraction, but that did not do anything for anybody because it was a half-assed like story game that really wasn't much of a story.
Did Extraction Extraction was a story game?
Well, kind of like they try to put a story in it, but nobody fucking plays it because it's not the Rainbow. If you're gonna make a Rainbow Six game with a story, I want to go back
to hardcore story.
Give me Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
I want to be an Extraction team. I want a big, Hollywood epic storyline where
that's what I'm saying. This game changed so much. I felt like
this had aliens in it and shit. Like they were just trying to do a different version of multiplayer co-op.
Yeah,
it's more of what they wanted to make. Give me a single player game. You know what I'm saying? Like let's start expanding out where you already have Siege. They're not going to stop playing Siege, but give me Rainbow Six, whatever storyline you want to give me, and let me play
and let it
with
be
my
Rainbow
gadgets,
Six.
and we're gonna, work together and get in there.
Ghost Recon was a huge one at that time too. Rainbow Six was.
Ghost Recon expanded actually in a really smart way with Wildlands. They made a huge open world with a squad. You can do co-op online, like helicopter in, and do all these great missions. It was amazing. They fucked up because they made Breakpoint, which the problem with Breakpoint is, see, they had a huge community with Wildlands.
Yeah,
and they ended up making Breakpoint, but they were basically asking everybody who was in love with Wildlands to come play this new game. And it was a very different type of game, and people didn't like it. So what should have happened is they should have made expansions for Wildland. Give us different stories in that world, right? You can take us to different locations, but don't take us out the game that everybody was really
loving.
into.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you changed it to like it was more like survival gameplay. Like
they should have just added that instead of making it a whole.
So you're like limping.
Game. Yeah.
It's Wildlands was like the sweet spot. So right now, I think they put more work into Breakpoint to try to bring it up and see if people play it.
No one really cared.
I beat Breakpoint.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. But I wasn't one of those people who were ingrained
in the way that they made games. Now, I feel like I remember Far Cry being a lot more of like an online. It started with that thing where that you can create your own board and then you go at it and play online. And then I feel like that game became more of a storytelling game as like it progressed. Like now it's more of like about the story that Far Cry is gonna bring rather than like the messing around online.
Far Cry has become a villain story.
Yes.
The thing about Far Cry is they always have epic villains, right? So they spend a lot of energy on giving you like an epic bad guy that's a character, not just somebody to go take down. Like
someone that you can't stand that's doing something really freaking big. Yeah. Like they give it a core.
Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do that and they do that pretty well, actually. But those games are so big.
They are.
And that's the thing with Ubisoft right now that I think a lot of people are kind of tired of, and it's a shame because everything they do, they want to make huge. Like they want to make everything big, as big as the world can be and all this shit. And it's like, dude, like how much time do you think we fucking have? You know what I'm saying? Like as much as
they're like, but you guys play Grand Theft Auto forever.
Yeah, but like we don't.
Like we
you know what I'm
don't
saying?
care.
Like, certain people do, but not like
The
regular
masses.
gamers, right? Regular gamers want to play multiple things. The people who live and breathe in Grand Theft Auto Online are going to live and breathe in Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah.
Stop trying to get them. You're not going to get them, right? They're waiting for the next Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're done. Just like Madden or whatever. Like the people who only play Madden, I don't want to start seeing football in Far Cry 9.
Yeah, can you
Because
imagine?
we're trying to get the football audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave them alone. You
Those
know?
people
So
scare me. But yeah,
make
my
a
God.
fucking story game.
Yeah.
Make a story game. That's what we want. I want that villain, but give me a story game that
Condense.
focuses on the villain.
Focus, okay? Don't try to be everything. Be Far
Yeah, dude.
Cry.
Even
Do
Far
that
Cry
epic
5
villain.
It
And
was super epic with like those cult religionist people.
yeah,
Like, that
oh my
was
gosh,
crazy
yeah.
cool. But
that
it's
was
like,
crazy.
dude, it's
a little
so
scary.
fucking big, bro. It's like nonstop. Like I still want to go back and beat it. Like every once in a while, I'll turn it on
Yeah.
and progress a little bit more because it's such a fun game. But it's like, dude, they're too long.
Yeah.
It's too long. I can't dedicate that much time to every fucking game that comes out in this world. Like you gotta break it up. That's why I like
you
the Plague's
can't-
Tale, because it's like
Yeah.
concise. You know?
can't make a game just for the people that buy that one game and play. Because that's great for those who love buying one game a year or for however long. There are people like that. They want to play a game that lasts for like freaking ever, and that's what they play. But I think that with the way that things are, where we're making games that you can play on the phone, so you can play on the go, like, you know, they're making portable things that we can carry around and kind of like play when we get a moment to play. That whole thought of like sitting at home just playing video games all day in the same exact game is not there, you know?
Well, I just feel like you can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have to make a game that is only linear. Just give me a linear path that I can take. Meaning, don't make it where if I want to just play the main story, that I have to do these other side quests or whatever
Yeah.
that are like taking me here, taking me there. Like, don't get me wrong. If I want to do that,
You want to be
Great.
able to, yeah. Kind of like The Witcher, right? You play the story,
Exactly.
and if you want to pick a
they
side
had
quest
amazing
and
side
get
quests,
to,
and it made me want to
other
play it.
characters that you want to
Yep.
get to know and stuff like that. But
But if I don't like just
Shove it in
give
your
me-
face.
yeah,
Like I want a golden path. Every game should have a story that's a main story that I could finish in 10 to 15 hours.
I think what
That's
they
it.
feel is like if we put in all this work, then you should do it too. But then don't put in all that work and just give them the.
I mean, listen,
the
there's
game,
plenty of
you know?
people who will, right? There's a lot of young people in the world who go home after school and they just sit and play video games, right?
Yeah,
Fine. Like I said, leave it there for them, but make it side content, right? So if you want to go off and see that
and
story,
continue to
go
explore.
do that.
Yeah.
Or if you beat
Like
the
you,
game,
like how
let
Madman
those side
stated
quests be there.
with Legend of
Zelda,
Zelda. Yeah, like he is not he wants to go from point A to point B and finish it. Doesn't like to do the side things, and that game made him want to do the side quests, right? So
Yeah.
if the game is good enough, or if people are involved enough in the game that they want to do that, then that should be optional.
Exactly.
You know? Where is Just Cause? I feel like that was also a game that started off like so big, and it was such a, because there are games that like made like such a big impact. I remember the game with Snake, when you could see the smoke coming out of his mouth,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was such an epic
Metal Gear
moment.
Solid.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. But like Just Cause was such a big deal too. Like when it first came out, and he jumps out, and that parachute opens out,
So
and
Just Cause almost became like a caricature of itself.
oh, okay,
Like
that's
it
that.
kind of lost like, yeah, you can keep blowing shit up and you found new ways to blow shit up and it's cool, but the depth wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like in the beginning when they were first blowing things up, nobody was blowing things up, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, wow, they're doing such a cool thing.
But
This
I
is new.
remember they had a good story in that.
That's what I'm saying. They almost
like,
became
they
a
lost
mockery
us-
of
yeah.
itself. Like this, like they got the Spanish dude and he's just not like, it's almost like a joke. Like it's just
So be more like Far Cry.
yeah, like Far Cry
fill
with
in
the
your
chance to blow
gaps,
shit up. But that's
guys.
what like in Far Cry, you can blow shit up like crazy, right? So it's like, do I really need just
Just
cause
cause, yeah.
when I can do it over here, right?
Yeah,
And
I get
actually,
that.
they kind of transition away from that game because I think they are making, if I'm not mistaken, Avalanche is working with Xbox and they're making Contraband, which is almost like a driving heist game. Where
Okay.
you're gonna be able to like, you know, drive and shoot out the car and like do some heist, like
Yeah.
rob a bank or rob other, you know, vehicles and shit.
That sounds kind of cool.
So that's what it sounds like. They just did a teaser. I remember
Sounds-
before.
Sounds different.
Yeah,
you know?
it's different. Like I think
Yeah.
they're trying to find
Branch
a different
out, yeah.
situation.
Trying to do unique,
you know, they're
unique
talented.
things.
What happened? What was
Trying
it?
to do things that are unique, like how
Yeah.
Just Cause once was.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're obviously talented, but you know, I think that they
Listen,
just-
with
they
so
need to
many
do something
games
different.
coming out, the pressure gets to you. You get to a point where you're like, okay, so we got to stand out somehow. And, you know, you pick something and hope that it lands. But sometimes the best way to stand out is to continue with the path that you were on and, like, just grow it, not lose your way with what made you special, you know?
Yeah, well, like I know in part 4 of Just Cause, right? One of their big things is like this tornado that can come and like can fling things everywhere. Fortnite has a tornado. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sitting there, you can hop in it, it spins you around, and you use it to
tosses
fly.
you somewhere.
Like, all right, the moment's passed. Like, look, if a free to play game could do it, like, find something
What's
else.
special? Yes.
That wasn't that big of a hook. All right, guys. Like, did you think we were gonna play the game just to see if we get caught up in a tornado? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I hope the next one's a tsunami.
Yeah,
But,
and,
you
like
know.
it's just gonna be another different thing. It's like earthquake.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
earthquake
doing,
happens.
as you said, gimmicks.
Yeah.
They're
Even though I
throwing
just
stuff
said
at a
it,
wall and see what sticks, sort of thing.
I just said it and you said it, but how dope would it be if they made an action game that revolved around a tsunami? Like you're in a town and this town is being taken
It
over
just
by a
goes,
tsunami and
yeah.
you have to survive and get out. And also, how epic would it be with the technology out there today if there was a game that you had to survive like this huge earthquake?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit's falling down around
Yeah.
you. You have to get your family out of the town of the city.
Earthquake simulator.
Huh?
Earthquake simulator.
Earthquake simulator. That would be dope, right?
Try
But
not
That
to
would be
die.
kind of
that's
cool.
the
That
thought
would be a good
process.
story. Like, what was that? The Will Smith movie?
Bad Boys.
No.
No. The I Am Legend.
I Am Legend.
Yes. Or he's
well, that's
like,
The Last of Us.
yes. Oh, okay. There you go.
That's like The Last of Us. That game already was made. But yeah, like that. Like find something that's challenging. It would be dope. Can you imagine if you played a game where there's real earthquakes happening while you're playing and shit's like you were gonna go in that building, but you didn't
You
make it.
see
'cause the
it
building
collapse
fell out,
right
it
in front of
collapsed.
you, and
Like,
you're
you
like,
have to
you
go
were
save
almost
somebody,
in there.
And
Yeah.
you go to get there and the fucking shit collapses because the
Or
building.
you get them right before the thing happens. And
Like
you just,
make it where it really could happen, right? Like there's a timer. And If you
Yeah.
get there on time, you save them and you see the shit collapse. Or if you don't get them on time, you just see them out the window like, no, dead.
No, why did you do
CMoney, I
that?
think you should make this game.
Well,
Right, Madman?
Oh yeah, I'll remember this.
too old for that, but Madman, you can do it.
Oh, I can do
Take
it.
these ideas, go make something.
Not just a hat rack.
Not just a hat.
I'm not just a hat rack.
Oh yeah.
There's something in here.
All right, so I couldn't tell you what the topic was here.
I have
so
no clue.
you know,
But
It was
we
about
might
Assassin's Creed
just-
Mirage, aiming for an August 2023 release window, but I think we're beyond that. Let's move on to something else that's pretty spicy. So the Walt Disney Company as a whole becomes 100 years old next year, which that's to say that must make you guys feel old, you know. So Walt
I
Disney's
mean, we
first
weren't
character.
there when it started.
Seriously, what?
Oh, really?
Has nothing to do with whenever that started and wherever's like maybe like
So
you know.
yeah, Walt
Hey, come
Disney, the
Yeah.
company
Calm
actually
down.
started in 1923 with like the Alice short films and stuff like that. Alice Solves a Puzzle, And they did that for a little while, but then in the later half of the 20s, Walt Disney created a character called Oswald for Universal. And after a little while, he lost the rights because Universal wanted to do their own shorts with him. So he had no Oswald. And that's when he created Mickey Mouse in 1928. And then that's when obviously Mickey became a fucking giant. So they basically ignored Oswald for the longest time after they bought back the rights in 2006. He only appeared in like Epic Mickey, and that's kind of it. And then little merchandise here and there.
2006, they bought back the rights?
2006. It took a long time.
So it took like 80 years?
Yep, 80 years. He was Universal, but then in 2006, they bought him back, and he's at Disney again. However, he was actually at Universal Studios for a little while there. But yeah, so basically now in on December 1st of this year, 2022, Walt Disney Animation Studios has released the first Oswald the Lucky Rabbit short since 1928 and uploaded on YouTube on a Tuesday morning or a Monday morning. It's completely random. It's exactly 1 minute or 1 minute 7 seconds, and it is very charming. It uses the rubber hose style animation. It's completely hand drawn. I mean, Disney does CGI now, but they completely hand drew it. It is very charming, and so yeah, I think that's pretty cool. See that they recognize him. So, what do you guys think?
I don't even... Like, Oswald was in that game, and that was that.
I think it's really nice, like 100 years later, like that was his first character that he created, right? And it wasn't...
Was it?
Right?
Walt Disney was the first... I mean, Alice is an existing character, but he created Oswald before Mickey. But he lost the rights, and that's the only reason he made Mickey, because, we lost Oswald.
Yeah, but they couldn't make him popular enough, wasn't that? Like, it wasn't well received.
They did okay stuff with him, but Mickey, he blew up because he was the first cartoon to ever have sound that was synchronized.
Like Oswald was,
he was just another cartoon character.
Exactly.
Like there was Felix the Cat and stuff like that at the same time.
It wasn't doing what they wanted to do with a cartoon.
He was just a character, and they played piano music in the background. No sound effects, no voices.
So, but Universal took it from them, right?
Yeah.
So they were doing something with it.
They did little stuff here and there, but nothing revolutionary.
Like
Give it
it's
back.
Ours. You know what I'm
Mickey was literally revolutionary. He was the first cartoon to have sounds that matched the short.
Yeah, but that could have been anybody. That can't be why he was famous.
Wait, so
that was a big part of it.
Oswald was made by Disney.
Disney made Oswald. He made it for Universal.
Oh, like Universal said, make us
like how Disney, how Tim Burton made Nightmare for Christmas, and Disney had the rights to the longest time. They still do, but he couldn't do anything with it because, well, you made it here, buddy. It's ours. So yeah, Universal was just one thing, like, we want to do it ourselves. We don't need you anymore.
Good for Universal. See, they did the same thing with The Nightmare Before Christmas. That was made for Disney, and they weren't ready for it. So they vaulted the movie until they were ready for it, and it was a huge success. So, good for Universal for keeping the character that they paid them to make.
Now Disney
sold it back, and here you go.
When they had money.
Yeah. See, now Disney's willing to pay for stuff, so now is the time to sell to Disney back. I mean, this character has to mean something to them.
I think they bought it just for the emotional.
Exactly.
Thing. Like, this was Walt's first
Walt
creation.
Disney made it. It's back at Disney. We own it. We're never going to use it. It's trash. But
they try to do it to be funny. And now they do use it and they reference him sometimes. Like they love making punches at him and stuff like that and jabs. Like make fun of him.
No one's looking for another Mickey Mouse right now.
Not really. No, never. It'll never happen.
I think that if they can make him commercial, this would be the time to make him commercial.
I mean, they'll probably if they were to do anything, maybe a short series on Disney Plus, that'd be kind of cute. But they're not going to make him huge.
Yeah, there's a lot more room for more now. Whereas back in the day, it was like this cartoon is popular by them, and then it branched out to the cartoons that were popular by Cartoon Network or freaking Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And now it's like many cartoons can be popular by one specific.
Now Disney loves making fun of Oswald though. Like it's not like they just do really mean and they talk about like the Mickey Mouse cartoons of now.
Yeah.
There's a episode where Mickey had to take out the garbage and then Oswald is in it like, oh God, Oswald got in here again. It's shit like that.
That's messed up.
This is what they need to do.
But they're just following the joke.
This is what they need to do.
Course,
If they want to make Oswald relevant, it's very simple.
Yeah.
They got to go take the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse that they have for little kids and make Oswald a character in that show.
It's the wait, Clubhouse is done.
an add-on.
They make
Add him.
Oswald part of their world.
Yeah, make a new character, a new friend who stops by.
Yeah.
Oswald. Have him show up every once in a while in the beginning, and then just bring him in and have him there
Oswald's
next
a bunny,
to
right?
Disney. I mean, next to Donald and
And Goofy and
Goofy, all
Mickey,
that stuff.
yeah.
Bring
and
them in
Minnie Mouse
and
and Daisy.
teach the little kids of the world today that Oswald
Exists.
is a friend.
Yeah.
And then eventually you follow whatever year you pick.
Don't you
put in.
dare Disney make him into like the villain or the
No.
the
He was a villain in Epic Mickey, though.
Misbehave.
Make him a friend. Well, he was only a villain because he was forgotten.
Yeah, he was in the Forgotten Realm or something.
so-
like
He's
that.
the Joker.
Yeah,
He's
I know.
Batman.
Just make him pick a
I'm
year
here.
whenever you're gonna make
But,
it.
you know.
Have him as a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse character. The small kids at that time will watch it. They'll learn who he is.
Yeah.
5 years later, make a new show that has him in a slightly older, audience show. 5 years after that, put him into a slightly older, and then before you know
Older
it,
and older.
15
He's gonna be in
years,
Breaking
he'll just
Bad,
be
but it's
classic.
Oswald.
He'll just be everywhere. He'll be in every Mickey Mouse movie.
What did you say, Madman?
You
Put him in
think he's
Breaking
gets
Bad.
put him in an older audience? Then an older audience. Next thing you know, he's gonna be next Breaking Bad protagonist. It's Oswald.
So
I don't
wait,
know.
what is he a bunny?
Yeah, he's a rabbit. The lucky
so
rabbit.
that's cuter
But I
than the
think that he
freaking
can
mouse.
easily merge with them very, very easily. Like, other than like he's never mingled with Mickey unless it's Epic Mickey or he gets made fun of cruelly in other Disney properties.
But
Other than
mingle,
that,
like
that's
we're making it seem like these are like human characters. Like just draw them together and make them play
Yeah, like,
nice.
you don't have to have a reason. Just, hey, here's our friend Oswald. Oswald's coming to visit us. Let's count blocks with Oswald.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a whole show right there.
One,
Money.
two,
on, man.
tune in for the next episode and see what comes next.
We'll see what Money's got for
Mark
us
this
next
day.
time.
Mark this day right now, because if we see this shit 15 years from now,
We're gonna have a problem.
I'm
I
gonna
want
be like,
my
look
cut.
at that. Somebody listened to our damn podcast and took the idea. Man,
Huh?
pitch it, bro. You got to go talk to Disney.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Come on, you're the youth
All right.
of our generation.
Right?
So, Mr. Bob Iger, I have a lot of suggestions. Bring Oswald back from the grave.
All right, write them a letter.
Okay.
All right, yeah,
Now.
email.
We'll write a
Sharply
letter
worded
after
email.
this topic or topics because 505 Games and Epic Games teased the new game titled Project Care Bear, which will be properly shown at the 2022 Game Awards. Yeah, it's not about Care Bears.
Oh
but
my gosh,
it's-
I was so confused.
I was confused too,
Unless
but yeah,
it is.
this new game,
Is it?
no one knows what to expect, but it will be shown at the Game Awards. So let's just hope that it's something noteworthy. What do you guys have to say about that?
I'm desperate for anything next gen, so hopefully they're just even if it is goddamn Care
Care
Bears.
Bears?
It's the Care Bears where you see the fur. I see fur. I see fur.
I'll kill you with love.
I'll kill you with joy and happiness.
You're gonna beat the F out of people with plastic hearts.
There you
and
go.
sh-
That would work. I
yeah.
think so.
That
I mean,
sounds good
obviously,
to me.
We have no idea what to think about it, but the cool thing is that Epic Games is making something.
And that's a Fortnite guy.
Yeah, outside of Fortnite, they really don't make shit
I mean, they did the
anymore.
Gears of War trilogy, and that's
Hey,
it.
if they make Fortnite, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh my gosh, can you imagine like Care Bears but Fortnite style with guns and everything?
They can't do that. That's a kid's
Be a bit
property.
much.
That's a bad advertising thing. It's gonna
I don't know.
confuse
I'm
parents.
trying to think of what Care Bears can be as a project name, right? So
Mario
Yeah,
Odyssey
because
like
other-
copy
like,
paste.
all I think about it's like the freaking stuffies.
Yeah.
No, the only way they would work is a Super Mario clone. Just make a 3D platformer with a Care Bears. Wow.
I don't think anybody makes a 3D platformer anymore.
Super Lucky's Tale, that exists. No one cares.
It's not bad. It's just
The
nothing's
generic
ever gonna-
platformer in comparison to
Well,
like
the-
Mario.
Mario can
Cool
only pull
thing-
it off because they did it for so long.
Is that we'll find out soon enough.
Yes, because the Game Awards are Thursday.
As of the time of
Yes.
recording,
I'm
that's
so
a fact.
excited to see
December 8th.
what's going on. I
Yes.
want to know what announcements they're gonna have.
Listen, there's gonna be a prediction episode you guys are gonna do. Predicting
Yes, we
who
did
Yes.
when
Yes.
when it was announced.
when it was announced and saying who you guys wanted to win, but now there's going to be one coming out on who you guys think will take it.
Yeah, we'll do a prediction
So-
episode. Also, we'll see what do we want to see in the show?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
What announcements we're hoping to see.
Expectations.
What
So
are expectations. So that would be cool.
If
Look
you-
forward to that
yeah.
in the next few days.
So
We'll
the
do that
votes
before
were
the
about
show.
hopes and dreams. Predictions were about reality. Like, I want to be an astronaut. Come back to reality, honey.
forget your
Walmart's
hopes
right
and
there.
dreams. Let's get real.
Where's the applications? But yeah, I think that Game Awards hype me up every single year, and this is gonna like the Game Awards. There's a lot of leaks and rumors and stuff like that, and confirmed stuff that we can see over there. That I don't know. We just gotta keep going because there's some more Game Awards meaty juiciness. New Diablo 4 footage will supposedly be shown at the 22 Game Awards and could include an open beta and release date announcement.
Madman, save it. Save it for your show.
Yes,
Well, this is a
yes.
leak that they just had. Diablo 4 is supposed to be there. I mean, as much as it's a leak, I mean, come on, like we all know about Diablo 4. It's been a long time. We're waiting for the announcement.
We'll be pissed if it
we
wasn't
know
there.
it's coming out earlier in the year, next year. So obviously they're gonna have to give us a release date. The question is, will Xbox own Activision before Diablo 4 is released? And we'll know because if they do give us a release date and it's after June, then they're holding off because they know that they want the deal to go through. If it's in like March or some shit, then, you know, it's just going to come out and the deal probably won't be done yet. But I think we're all hoping that it's going to go into Game Pass right away.
I mean, that'd be nice.
So that what would be dope is if they just do that anyway, whether it's owned yet or not. If they just put it into Game Pass,
Yeah.
like think about it. If I'm Microsoft and I'm buying this company, just pay them the money right now. You're just giving it to yourself, right? So just be like, hey, we want Diablo in Game Pass. Here's X $100 million or whatever the hell. Get it in there. That'll be a huge boost right off the rip.
Nike it.
Just do it.
You know, just do it.
Just do it.
Why wait?
Yeah. Diablo 4 is dope. I played Diablo 3 I played for a little while, but it was a long time ago. But Diablo Immortal came to phones and I fucking couldn't put that shit down.
Easy access, baby.
I loved it. It was so good. So I can't wait for Diablo 4. I'm thinking that's going to be a big upgrade over the Immortal, and Immortal was great. So we'll see. I'm excited.
All right.
Come next week, we'll have a lot to talk about in the next podcast because we're going to go over
Oh, yeah.
what actually happened.
I'm
on the Game
excited.
Awards. So that's going to be a big one.
Yes, a mega one. And the big boy. 2042 developers. Oh my god. Battlefield 2042 developers have admitted that the game launched in a rough state, but now believe 1 year later that it is actually somewhat okay. So, yeah, the game did not come out to good reviews. Really at all. It was messy, buggy, the works. However, now it's been a year since the game came out, and they think it's actually tolerable now, claiming it's pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. Battlefield is an interesting franchise. They have a disgusting naming scheme. The first game was not Battlefield 1. It was 1942, Vietnam, Part 2. So Vietnam wasn't really Part 2. It was Part 1.5. And then, 2042, 2142, which is before 2042. Bad Company 2, 1943, which is number 7 or 6 or whatever. Battlefield 3 and 4, which, by the way, all Battlefields before that didn't exist. That's 3 and 4. Battlefield 1 is after 4. No, it's not Battlefield 5, because Battlefield 5 is Battlefield 5, but it's a V, not a number. And then 2042 is the latest one, which is after 2142. This is disgusting. Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna throw up after this. But now,
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what the next
Madman.
one's gonna be.
Passionate
I
about
love
the
your
names
passion.
of Battlefield games. So, yes, they do use some weird naming conventions. Reason being is because they're trying to make people not think they're jumping into like a something that's been going on
Consecutive
for
thing?
a long time.
Oh.
And the different
You know,
games
they do that a
are
lot.
sequels of different types of games. So when they say Battlefield, the original Battlefield, then there's Battlefield 2, and then there was a whole bunch of different games, and then Battlefield 3 came out. But that's because they were telling you that that's a continuation of that line of Battlefields. But then they were more multiplayer focused ones, which were Battlefield 1942, 2042, with all that stuff. And this is harkening back to that line of games that came out. So there's no story in this one. So that's why they're doing that as opposed to the next mainline Battlefield game that always has a story, like Battlefield 5 and 4.
Yeah, but like, there's no Battlefield. Like, there's not one game just called Battlefield. Battlefield 2 is a sequel to 42, but 43 is also a sequel. So which is the true sequel? I don't know.
It's a great question.
Battlefield 2 is the third game.
I think
So
that's
it's like, what?
something only Battlefield can answer.
Only DICE can answer that question.
Only the makers can.
The creators.
We'll wait for them to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything. But like, bro, can I ask you a question? Can you just list the exact timeline of all the games that were released?
Like, I don't know.
And what was a sequel to what?
Yeah, you guys are annoying the shit out of Madman.
The Madman is pissed.
He's freaking pissed.
Throwing my head against the wall. God damn. Well, hopefully this game is actually pretty good now. And if you guys decide to check it out, maybe Duels Never Have I Ever play Battlefield 2042, you'll actually not regret your time being wasted.
Maybe that's the first game, right?
Maybe.
Oh my god. We don't know. There's no canon, no timelines. Who knows? But until I figure out my frustration, that's gonna be it for this podcast. So, what did you guys think of the topics we discussed today? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you like them. And be sure to tune in for our 21st podcast, which will predict the Game Awards of this year. Signing off, I'm Madman, and we'll catch you on the next one. Malachi Madman, out.